Yeah, we're on air, but it takes a couple of seconds before it shows up. See, this is what everybody is seeing right now. And then all of a sudden you'll see it pop up. And it gets started. So it's got a little bit of a delay. Hey, everybody. How you doing tonight?
What's up, guys?
This is my buddy Joe. I don't know if you guys know Joe. I'm sure a lot of my friends all know who Joe is. See what I mean about the delay? You have a little bit of a delay, you know. So, but if you go back, I'm sorry, while I'm waiting for people to come on, I see a couple of people on there. I'm actually going to explain to Joe a couple of things. So bear with us a second. And who was number one? I saw somebody over there. Car exposed.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? So you were number one? Somebody was on there. We were actually playing around on there before just to see who was on there. Well, we got Bob T. Somebody you know, doing? Joe. A couple of people we got here. Car exposed. Jim and Joe. That's right. This is what happens after doing it for 42 years. This is what you look like. This is when you're young.
Guy shows up down here, man, out of the blue.
We are going to do a couple of things today. We're going to talk about a couple of things. As you guys know, I was off the air for quite a while. There was lots of stuff going on. I won't get into it. It wasn't very good. There was a lot of family issues, a lot of sickness in my family. So we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to get past that. And we're going to go forward now. And hopefully I'm going to be back on a more regular basis now. I was just explaining to Joe, and I was actually going to show him how to do a live stream on the regular computer as well. So that way, Joe will be doing his own live stream. And that way I can be one of you guys on the side over here, and I can break his coconuts. So we are going to do a couple things. We're going to talk about how it was when I got started. The guy that Joe used to work for way back. How long ago was that, Joe?
Joe?
Yeah, that was
started in '96 with Joe.
Yeah. But my shop from where Joe used to work for this other fella, Joe, it was probably, I'm going to say 10 miles away, something like that. But any kind of electrical issues, a lot of times at my shop, I wouldn't get into the electrical stuff. I would always send it on down to Joe to take care of the electrical stuff. But I do want to take a look at some of the stuff going on over here. I just saw somebody say something. Robert says Scotty Kilmer.
Scotty Kilmer.
All right, let's see what we got going on. We got a couple of people. Big Dog 5001. Good to see you. Haven't talked to you in a while. Paul as well. Robert Harris. That sounds familiar. What's up, Jim? Good to have you back. Oh, what I was saying is I'm going to probably try to do the live stream on a more regular basis. Truthfully, it got to be quite difficult doing the live stream every Sunday night at 7 o'clock, even though you may think, wow, 7 o'clock at night, what do? You just have to go on the computer and you click on and you're live. The problem is that everybody, whether it's Joe or myself, we all have a personal life too. And me, it got to be tough because even though it started at 7 o'clock, if it starts at 7 o'clock, I had to take my dogs for a walk. So that's an hour. So you have to allot for an hour for that. And if you're away and you're not by your computer or whatever, you have to make sure you're back. So you lose pretty much half a day. So that's why I'm going to do the live stream maybe once a month or something like that. I'm not going to make any promises right now, but we're probably going to do it maybe once a month or something like that. And Robert Harris, the name sounds familiar. Scott Kilmer. I'm thinking I know who it is, but I'm not going to say anything. I'll tell you later on. They're not far from here, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so. But we'll talk about that later. I don't want to mention any names. So we are going to talk about a couple of things, like back in the day when I first got started, how I got started in the repair shop business and how I actually.
Yes, Steve.
Steve is there. Hey, good to see you, Steve. I hope all is well. I haven't talked to you in quite a while. I'm sure you're not at your northern camp anymore up there. It's probably frozen under a lot of snow right now. He's got a place up in Canada somewhere. So, Steve, I don't know if you know my buddy Joe, but this is Joe from his Joe's Auto Repair.
Staten Island.
Staten Island. Yeah. Oh, we got Mike on there. Mike, I was just talking about you to Joe. the first live stream I did, how I went on there and they didn't copy and paste that link, and I couldn't get any of the scroll coming down on the side over there. So I was just explaining to Joe. I was showing him how to do it. He does it from his phone, so it's a little bit different. Me being old school, I don't have one of those modern phones like this guy does. But maybe what we'll do is we'll talk here for a little bit, and then I'm going to leave you guys hanging here. We're going to go out. Maybe we'll pop on Joe's phone and we'll do a tour of Joe's shop over here. Because Joe's shop is actually, I'm going to say, probably 4 times the size of my shop at least.
Think it's that much bigger?
At least, yeah. At least 4 times. It's a big shop. It's probably one of the biggest shops that I've seen around. So, but we'll take you for a tour of the shop here, and show you what it looks like out there.
Steve
Harris. Oh,
can't wait to visit that. I'm in Bayonne.
Okay. All right. I thought you were somebody else. Actually, I'll tell you, I just saw the guy today when I was driving over here. He saw me driving down on Main Street, which is Broadway, and I stopped at the light, and he's doing like this, looking and looking, looking. Hey, how you doing? So I thought it was him on here, but I see it's not. Gerald from Texas. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. But what they're saying is that a lot of people wanted to know how I got started in the business. So I'll talk about how I got started in the business, and then we'll talk about how Joe got started in the business. Now, as you know, I've been in the business for a long time. I started in 1976. So that's 42 years, 43 years ago. So I've been around a long time. The way I got started is I actually went into a gas station to just get a job pumping gas there because I wanted to learn how to be a mechanic. And instead of being a mechanic and go into school, which back then, you went to school, it was great. You knew in your head what to do, but you a lot of times knowing in your head what to do and knowing what to do with your hands is totally different. So, you know what? Give me 1 second. I just thought of something. I just got a text Mrs. Jimthecarguy because I did say I was going to go on at 7, and I just want to make sure.
Uh-oh. Gerald, did you get my email? My reply to your email, rather?
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I know we said we're going to come on at 7 o'clock, but we're just hanging around here and we're just BSing. So I figured instead of us going and BSing, we would just go online and talk with you guys too. Gerald says, fantastic big dog. Jim's in trouble now. No, no. I just want to let Mrs. Jimthecarguy know. One day, and she's going to be mad, but one day I'm going to get Mrs. Jimthecarguy. Uh-oh. One day I'm going to get Mrs. Jimthecarguy on the video. So we'll see if we can talk her into it. Okay, she's going to go on now too. So how they get started. Okay, I went to a gas station just to find out if I could get a job there because I wanted to learn how to be a mechanic. And the best way to learn back in those days was you pretty much got a job in a gas station or auto repair shop, and they would teach you how to be a mechanic. So that's what I did. I went and I got a gas station job pumping gas for a guy, and I'd go there and do my job pumping gas, and then on the side I would actually do some repair work on the side, like basically tearing down cars or doing work at night to prepare the job so that the mechanic could put it back together the next day. Let me just see something. Bob T says, Mrs. has him on a short string. Oh, Nat, good to see you in there. I see. Yeah, what's this? I should have texted you that I was going to come on. Because Nat's not far from here either. One day, I know Nat, I said that one day we're going to get together, we're going to have a beer and a burger, and we will do it one day. We'll probably go to a local place down here one day.
That sounds good.
Have a meetup, which means cars are breaking down in the street and no one is there to help. That's right. When it gets to this time of the night,
that's great.
You're on your own.
Steve's asking if you and I ever go to each other's shops to work.
think we ever did we?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. No.
Uh,
I'll get back to the story how I got started. But a lot of the way I really got very friendly with Joe is he used to live up the street from my shop and everything. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But I used to send a lot of the electrical stuff. My shop was always is always so busy with basic maintenance stuff, whether it was brakes or tires, shocks, struts, whatever. I didn't have a lot of time to devote to electrical issues. So any kind of electrical problems, shorts, or wiring issues, I always wound up sending it down to Joe. That way I could I could be the pain in the rear end to him.
No.
But that's how that's a lot of stuff went down to him. Let me just think. I was talking about okay. So I used to work in the shop, and I would be pumping gas, and I would just tear a car down, and I would tear them down, and back then we used to do a lot of valve jobs because the valves used to burn all the time. So we used to do a lot of the valves. Sorry, I was reading something there. I used to do a lot of the valve jobs. So we'd have like 2 or 3 cars, we'd tear them apart, and then the next day the mechanic would put them back together. And little by little, I was able to go and put the, from tearing them down, I was able to start to learn how to put them back together as well. So that's how I got started. And from there, I went to work at a Shell station not far from the shop that I originally started in. And I ran that shop for probably, I'm going to say about a year. And at that point, I realized that it was going to be, I was going to own my own shop, because I figured if this guy can have a shop and he can run it himself and be successful, that I could do the same thing. And that was 42 years ago, and that's pretty much how I got started. So, all right, now we're going to question Joe and find out how he got started.
Man, I was tinkering with cars, I guess, since I was a kid, mostly with my father. He was a welder and a fabricator and stuff. So, by trade, but I always did stuff mechanically as well. So I used to do that when I was a kid with him, just kind of messing around, trying to learn. And when I got older, I decided I wanted to do it for a living, against everybody's better judgment, I guess, at least at the time. So I ended up at a dealership, and that's how I got started. I started out, a friend of mine got me a job in a dealer. It was actually a Saturn dealer when the company was really in its infancy. It was like 92, I think, 91 or 92 when they first started, and I just got the job there. And I worked my way up from, I was trying to become a dealer tech, I guess, at the time. I didn't know much. I was 17, 18 years old. And trying to remember, man, what actually happened. I had quit. I think I was there for like 3 or 4 years, and I quit because they weren't allowing me to train and, sending me to training and things and letting me advance. Then I ended up in a local parts store in my town in Bayonne for a short time. Another buddy of mine told me that Joe was hiring in Jersey City. Never knew about the shop until then, and I ended up going down there for an interview. And I was messed up. He told the first job. I remember the first job. When I went down there, I says, yeah, I'm here for the interview. He goes, well, we're open a half a day today, so let's see, maybe you could work a little. So I said, all right. Made me take a timing belt apart on an old Nissan. And I says, well, I said, I'm not going to have time. I said, I've never done this before. I'm not going to have time to put it back together. He says, no, just take it apart. I just want you to take it apart. And I don't know, 2 o'clock came around. I had it all apart. He says, all right. He says, I'll see you Monday. That was it. I got hired. I said, okay. So that's how I got into it, basically. I mean, and then learned from Joe, went to, training with MEA a lot, and met some good guys there. I actually met Keith from New Level through MEA years and years ago, and finally found him again now recently, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, that's how I got into it. I remember seeing Jim all the time working on the cars down in the shop, passing by there, and he was always busy. And I was like, man, this is cool. Like,
all right. Now I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to tell you.
No.
I'm going to tell you the real way that I met Joe. Back.
This is a true story.
It was probably in the, I'm going to say in the 80s, sometimes the very early 80s, 80, 81, something like that. I used to live, my shop is in Bayonne, but I used to live up in Jersey City, and I wanted to move down into Bayonne. So, back then, it wasn't like nowadays. You go on a computer and you find out all the, what apartments are for rent or houses or whatever. So back then, we used to get the paper, look in the paper, and you see a house for rent or whatever, and you call up, and you go there and you take a look at it. Well, I call up this one house, and it was actually on probably about 4 blocks away from where my shop is. This is my first shop, which was on 53rd and Kennedy. That was my first shop. It was an Exxon station. And I came down to look at the apartment, and I pulled up on my motorcycle. And now looking back, I'm thinking, I was pretty foolish to even think about going to look at an apartment like that. But I actually pulled up on my motorcycle, parked in front of Joe's house, and I rang the doorbell, and Joe's mother
I was only
came.
that big.
Yeah, he was a little. I just remember a little kid. I don't even remember truthfully, but I remember saying to to his mother who came to the door, I said, "Oh, I'm here to take a look at the apartment. I called you, and I'm interested in looking at it." And she looked at me, and she looked up and down, and she said, "Oh, the apartment is rented." I said, I just talked to you like 15 minutes ago, and you said the apartment was still available. And she said, "Well, no, the apartment is rented." And then after I left there, I got on my bike and I drove away. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that was a pretty foolish thing on my part to do, to go there on my motorcycle and park in front of the house. And back then, I used to have hair down to here, so it was not a very
and I could see
very
my mother,
good thing.
I could see my mother saying, "No, it's rented."
Yeah, and that's it. And I actually later on I became very good friends with Joe's mother as well. And I even told her, I said, "You remember years ago, is that the guy that came there on a motorcycle?" I said, "That would be me. That was me." But that's how I met Joe for the first time. And then one day I think he was doing some kind of work or something like that. And he came down to actually could borrow a tool while I was at my shop. I actually had moved from 53rd Street to my present shop on Broadway. And I'm going to read that in a second. I see why I said something.
I need glasses.
I know. I'm lost without these things. If I don't have these, forget about it. I came to Joe's here, and I came in, so I put my computer down and said, I got to go back outside and grab my glasses so I can see, what I'm actually doing here. But that's how I met Joe first. And only later on, after he came down to borrow
time and light.
Yeah, a time and light.
I ended up paying you to set the time.
That's true. You did. Yeah. But he came down to the shop and did the timing and everything. We started talking. He says, "Yeah." He says, "I live right up the street, right around over here." I said, "No kidding." I said, "Which house is it? Is it the first one or the second one off the corner?" And he said, "No, he's the second one off the corner." I said, "Left side or right side?" He said, "Left side."
Oh, God, I remember this conversation.
Said, "Yeah, I remember. I said, "Your mother wouldn't rent an apartment to me when I was a kid." But that was the first time I met Joe. That was the first time. All right, let me just see this.
That was crazy, man.
All right, Joe Wyatt says, "Joe, do a meetup March 31st."
Yeah, Wyatt. I'm open to it. The 31st would be Sunday. That's Sunday, obviously. So you guys are all going to the TST event. I am probably not going to make it. I have too much going on, and I know it comes off like an excuse, man. And I'm trying my best to get out to one of these training events. I want to network with all you guys. Mario, I just realized you're in the chat too, and
Super Mario.
I want to meet up with all you guys, man. And all the guys from Train by Tex as well. I got a lot going on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot for making a plan for next year to actually go to one of these big events if I can. I'm going to really shoot for that. And in the meantime, I'd like to do something down here. You guys are welcome to have, we'll have like an open house type thing, Jim, whoever wants to come down, whoever's available. I think you're right, Wyatt. The day after TST would be a good idea.
This shop is tremendous too, Wyatt. I mean, this shop is probably at least 4 times the size of my shop. You could probably fit in here easily.
How many scans?
20 cars. 20, at least 20 cars inside the building here. It's a big shop. So there's plenty of room in here. I think that there's probably enough room for everybody to bring all their diagnostic equipment here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you won't have tools scattered all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Mario. You're in Florida, right? I think
that's where I saw is Florida. Pretty sure.
He likes big shops.
Yeah. This place is tremendous.
Wyatt can help me organize.
Well, if somebody's going to organize, it's going to be Wyatt. Wyatt, I saw that video you put up the other day of a tour of your shop. Makes me look bad. Mine is like a wreck. Yours is everything is neat and organized. It's just unbelievable.
Steve asked if we would recommend if either of us would recommend anybody getting into the business nowadays.
Truthfully,
tough question.
being on after doing this for 42, 43 years, it's a rough business for somebody breaking into. If you haven't been around for a while and seen all the changes that come along on the cars, it's very difficult to actually go to school and actually get your foot in the door. A lot of times people won't, or dealerships or even repair shops. You go to school and you learn whatever. You still can't get your foot in the door. If somebody was I'm going to tell the story too about somebody who finished first or second in the show. And we'll get back to this, but I'm going to tell you a story about a guy that I hired who was like first or second in his class. He finished first or second. I was just telling you about this before. We're going to talk about that later on too, and you'll get a kick out of this one. But to answer your question, to get back into the business, me personally, I would not recommend it to anybody getting into it. What do you think, Joe?
No, it's hard, man. The only way, I'll tell you the truth, if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't be in this business. And I love what I do. That's the sad part about it. It's just that it's very frustrating. And now the way it is today, to have to try to keep up with everything and the quick amount of changes, the constant amount of changes that they have all the time with software. And I mean, the big thing now is programming. I'm sure like guys like Mario, you know what I mean? Everything is programming now, software. Testing is becoming, I don't know, man. You need a lot of training to stay on top.
It wasn't like years ago where you went out years ago and you bought a scan tool and you paid $3,000-$4,000 for a scan tool. Today, you don't just have one scan tool. If you don't have a scope and if you don't have multiple diagnostic tools, you really can't do it. And for a small shop to try to compete with these bigger shops, you'll go broke trying to try to buy all the tools that you need. Anybody who's in the business, Keith or Eric or anybody who's actually hands-on every day, they'll tell you that their biggest expense is their diagnostic equipment to keep current with stuff. Me, luckily, my shop is so busy. I do a lot of just basic repairs. I don't do a heavy diagnostics. If it gets into a real heavy diagnostics, I usually send it down to Joe, and he takes care of it. My shop is usually too busy to spend a lot of time on it because I got to get them in and get them out.
Yeah, it's absurd, man. There's a lot of like I said, just trying to stay on top of things. And I think for the guys coming up today, the young guys that are like 17, 18 that want to do this, they're coming up at a different age, like a different time. So I mean, maybe for them getting in now, I don't know, man. They already know computers at a young age, and they may have a better understanding than we give them credit for. I don't know. You got to have a passion for it, though. I mean, you can't do this if you don't love it.
Yeah. See, this kind of business to get started, to open up a shop. Alon, good to see you. I was hoping you'd stop by tonight. I kind of figured. I did get your text before too. I didn't respond back to you because I was talking to Joe, and then being old, I forgot to text you back. Joe's there. Okay, Joe, good to see you. And just so anybody doesn't know, Joe is my son. Karina, good to see you there too. And just so anybody doesn't know, Karina is Joe's wife.
See, I didn't know.
No, nobody knows on there. The only one I think might have known about it was Wyatt.
Nice.
Yeah, I think so. But Wyatt, I was talking to Mike before, and he says you're going to be up there on Friday night.
100%.
Oh, Karina, thank you. Karina, Wyatt, you were going to be up there, I think, on Friday night, and I'm going to come up Friday as well. So we'll talk and we'll coordinate. When you're going to be up there and stuff. So that it should be fun. I know Mike is going to be up there, I think, Friday night too, if not mistaken. So that'll be good.
So you guys are think everybody be up for a Sunday, get together then? You don't think everybody's going to be beat up?
Yeah, I'm not, I could reach out to everybody. I mean, obviously when I'm up there, I will talk to them and say, I'm staying until Sunday morning. So why I'll be here until Sunday morning? Okay.
Sunday morning.
Okay. I'm thinking that's up in New York, right? Wyatt? You'd be up there until Sunday.
How you doing,
morning.
Lon?
Yeah, Lon's a good guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, Eric will come down too.
Okay.
Hey, that's like I said. The more the merrier, man. It's fine with me. If it's my chance to meet up with you guys, have some fun, I'm down. Yeah,
that'd be good if everybody. I mean, from up in Terrytown to here is probably an hour and 50. I'll have to Google it and see, but I think it's maybe an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. It's really not that
bad.
far, you know. Now, why? Are you driving up or are you flying up?
Oh, my wife is on. Hey, Caroline.
Oh, okay.
She found your channel.
Hello, Caroline. Good to see you. All right. So how about you want to give everybody a shop tour out here, and you know, maybe we'll wait a minute because we have somebody else just came in out there. So maybe we'll wait just a minute before we go out there and walk around the shop. You gotta go talk to him.
That's Chris. That's
his
going
boss?
to be. Yeah. He's probably gonna. I don't know what he's doing. he's okay.
Yeah, if you want to go talk to him, that's fine too.
All right, go ahead. I'll be right back.
I'll keep everybody occupied here. Joe's going to take care of some business out there. See, that's the good thing about coming down here and coming to somebody else's shop. You know, he gets to go take care of business, and I get to just sit here and talk to you guys.
Yeah, but my customers walk in and they know you.
Yeah. It's funny because I was actually I was here before talking to Joe out there.
I mean, Jimthecarguy shirt.
And just so you know, he got the fat man size because he actually has a big beer belly. But yeah, so it was funny because I was down here before and talking to Joe, and a guy comes into the shop over here, and he walks in. He says to me, "Jim," he says, "good to see you." And I looked at him, and it's like, man, didn't he kind of looked familiar, like somebody I knew from years ago when I had my gas station. Actually, you okay, Joe?
Yeah, he's fine. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, okay. So when he came in, he says to me, "Hey, how you doing, Jim?" And I looked at the guy and I said, he kind of looks familiar, but I wasn't 100% sure, who he actually was, This camera turn. Oh, look at that.
What happened? It's spun.
It's reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mirrored. That's cool.
Wow. I just noticed that now.
Yeah, I thought I picked up on that before, but it kind of freaked me out a second because I turned and I was like, wait a second, what's that camera doing?
Yeah, so all of a sudden it just reversed on how it was set up here, actually.
Pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh, what do I say?
I really need glasses. This isn't good.
Oh, you're driving up. Okay. Yeah, maybe you need more than me. All right, so Wyatt's driving up, so he'll be driving around too. So yeah, you'll get to see part of Bayonne. And just so you know, Joe is in the very furthest point in Bayonne, like down pretty much before you go over the bridge into Staten Island.
Yep.
Where I think that's Keith's stomping ground, right?
Keith's.
Yeah. So, so back to the story. What happens is I'm in here talking to Joe, and the guy comes in. He says to me, "Hey, Jim." And I look at him. It's like, well, he kind of looks familiar, but not really positive who he is. And then after it talked for a little bit, I says to him, "Are you so and so?" And he said, "Yeah." He says, "You remember me?" And it's like, "Yeah, I remember you." Back in the probably early '80s, this guy, and this is the story I was going to tell you about somebody who actually finished top of their class. He finished like first or second in his class. So he was probably one of the better guys in the class. And as it turns out, he just said something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As it turns out, he's down here, and he says to me,
"Oh yeah, absolutely, Wyatt."
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so what happened is he worked for me for a while. He came into my shop and he says to me, I'd be interested in I had an ad in the paper. Back then we used to put an ad in the paper for mechanics. And he comes in, I'm talking to him and everything. And he seemed like he knew what he was talking about. So I said to him, where have you worked before? And he says, I haven't worked any place before. He says, but I finished in, I'm not even going to say the name of the school, but it was one of the top schools to learn automotive repairs. So he did finish, top of his class. I figured, give him a shot and we'll see how it goes. Now, this is back in the 80s, Being young, I didn't really know for sure exactly what was going on, but, I didn't know as much about business as I know today. But what happened is I said, I'll give you a shot. I'll give you a job and we'll see how it works out. I think he lasted probably only maybe a week, if that. What happened? Should I even tell us? He doesn't know this. He doesn't know about the channel, right?
Oh, there's so.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell the story anyway. He may get pissed if he hears this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. What happened is
It's a good story.
He takes. Now I had a 2-bay gas station, right? And he has the car in the shop, and he finishes what he had to do to it. He takes the car outside, he drives it around, and he parks it on the side of the building. He parks it on the side of the building, and I'm inside the shop on the other side working. And I look outside, and the car is rolling backwards down the driveway towards the street, which is 100 feet before it gets to the street. As the car is rolling back, I run over, I try to open up the door won't open. Now the car is rolling at a pretty good clip as it's coming down, and the door won't open. So I'm pulling the handle, trying to open up the door, wouldn't open up. The car winds up crashing into a telephone pole, which was luckily it hit a telephone pole. It didn't hit anything else. It crashed into the back of a telephone pole. And when I went to the guy that was working there, and I said, "What the F is it? What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I didn't know it was going to roll." I said, "Well, what do you think is going to happen when you have a stick shift car? You park it in neutral, and you leave the parking brake off. You don't leave the parking brake off, of course it's going to roll back." So that was his last day.
Did I ever tell you about the steamroller?
No.
I never told you that story?
Steamroller? No.
Steamroller.
No. Oh, is that your shop?
Runaway steamroller.
Holy crap.
The at Joe's, the other,
okay,
before I was there, he had a guy working for him, and something happened with this thing. They used to work on those kind of, that kind of equipment. Mm-hmm. And the guy got on it, and he hit a lever when he was working on it, and it took off. It was running. It just, I don't know how to, I never ran one. I don't know, but the thing took off, and he didn't know how to stop it. So this was going down, if you could picture Maxwell Street where we used to be, towards the bank.
Now, the Maxwell it's a very small street. It's really not that wide. And it runs only, what,
one block? One block, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was going towards the bank.
Wow.
So here comes the steamroller, right? The guy's screaming. Joe runs next to the thing. He says, I don't know what to do. He said, I just started ripping wires out of it. Wow. He said, I couldn't, So he said, they had this thing dead in the middle of the street. He said, the guy was like screaming. I was like, oh my God, man. Yeah, it could have been a catastrophe. But
oh, yeah. I could just see that. The bank robbery. They use a steamroller to break into the bank.
Yeah.
So
that was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. So what do you think? You guys up for taking the tour of the shop here to see what it looks like?
I don't know if you do computer diags. Cool Alice. I can't see the name. Cool. I can't read it.
Diagnose computer problems. Yep. Some of the computer problems, yes. If it's really something that's going to take a long time, then usually I bail out on it. I send it over to Joe to take care of, because most of the time, like I said, I got so much stuff going on. I really don't have time to get into the the following all of the wires and back probing and all that kind of stuff. So usually I send that stuff out. All right, so you want to go take a walk around the shop and we'll take a look?
Sure.
All right, where's your phone? And just so you guys know, you're going to have to go on Joe's channel, because I'm not going to walk around the shop with my computer, because probably not, right? You know what? Let's turn the phone on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see. I'll take the computer out there anyway. All right, we're going to take a walk. Sure, let's see the shop. All right, Wyatt. Now, Wyatt, remember, it's not as neat and organized as yours, just so you know. Okay?
It certainly isn't.
All right, let's get back over here. I'm going to, just so you guys know, I'm not going to be able to see the chat, just so you know, because we're on the other screen right now. So let's go outside and we'll take a walk around. All right. So that's Joe, in case you don't remember. All right, you got your live stream going there. Now, just in case Joe's going to put it on, just so you know, Joe's going to put it on to his channel. So go to Joe's Auto, and you can see it from his phone as well. He's just doing it right now. So let's see.
That didn't work.
All right, we'll be up any second, guys. Then we're going to take a walk about the shop here. All right, there you go.
It works.
Okay, you reverse your camera around. Oh, wait a minute, can I do that on this thing?
I think so.
No. Okay, well, I'm going to turn you guys around so you can see what's going on. But there you go. You can see Joe's live stream also. So so Joe's going to explain to you what the shop is all about here.
Well, we moved down here about 2 years ago, I guess now.
Mm-hmm.
We were, like I said before, on Maxwell Street for a long time. This place is much bigger than the old shop that we were at. We had, I think, we're good for about 4 bays in the other shop. And I'll show you from here. This is our bay door. If I take a shot here, sorry about the lights. Hey, what's up, man?
Look at how big this shop is, huh?
Take a look through here. Wyatt's here too.
Oh, you got the feet. Oh, yeah. It comes
Yeah,
up
see, I
different.
can see the feet on here. It's a little different on there. That actually confuses me a little.
Does it really?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat that way.
I was watching boat channels. Hey, man, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, so basically we have we have a lot of room in here. I don't know. I really don't know how many cars we could get in here, to be honest.
Well, just looking at this right now, I'm going to say on this one wall over here, you could probably fit in there. As you can see, there's 2 here now. You can get probably at least,
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm going to say you can get probably at least 12 to 15 cars in here.
I would say, right?
At least.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yep.
And in the back, I mean, we don't have we actually have the back. How far am? I'm sorry, guys. I need glasses, man. I don't want to. Don't tell my wife I said that. How far from you? How far is my shop from Jim's? A few miles.
3 miles, maybe?
Yeah, about 3 miles. Yeah, about 3 miles. So the back here is actually, we have a welder in the back. He does fencing. I think I mentioned this in another video we did. But he does like fencing and stuff like that. We have some of our stuff back here as well. We got some of our older equipment, and actually this toolbox here. Some of you guys are probably fans of drag racing and stuff. We were big into drag racing. That's actually my former boss that owned the business for us. That's his box. We got some old equipment over here that we use parts out of every now and again. Little kind of, I don't know, stuff that you just don't throw out. Kind of storage more than anything else. But we could always get cars back here if we ever needed to. So we have room. Plus up here, I don't know, you guys want to?
Oh, wait. What's that over there, Joe? Hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, we got a heavy
Oh,
bag over there.
see, that's what happens when the customer makes you really angry. You just go in the back over here, you beat the daylights out of the bag, and then you go back and finish the car you're working on.
Yeah, that's we do have. I don't know if you guys want to go upstairs. This is all storage stuff here. We got a couple of floors up there. But there's really nothing to see. Really, there's just I'll show you some shelving and stuff like that, just the same as over here. But the place is like 3 floors. It's huge. Could have a heck of a party. Yeah, frustration bag. You're right. Yeah, we some of us were into like that stuff years ago, and used to do a lot of training. So
Hey, let's talk about this Mustang here, Joe.
I knew I was waiting.
Let's
for
talk.
this.
I'm a Mustang guy.
familiar to you
You guys know
Hey,
that I'm
Cooper,
a
how you
Mustang
doing?
guy. That's why I knew I had to come down here. I've been telling Joe for about a year that I'm going to come down here, and he just never got a chance to come down. So once I saw the Mustang, I said, "That's it. I got to come down here."
Yeah, this thing's becoming a big topic, right? A lot of people interested in the car. So we haven't gotten much done on it, of course, but
Only needs a little paint back here, right, Joe?
what's that?
Just needs a little paint back here,
A
right?
little paint, a little Bondo, buff it out like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, we can just polish it out. Now that is a motor.
Oh yeah.
That's the double bumper, right?
Yep.
You don't see many of these. A lot of you guys don't even know what a carburetor is.
Actually, the gentleman, you know what? I wanted to show you. I'll show you guys. I'll show you on camera too. The gentleman brought us a carburetor for this thing, and I have it in here. I don't know if any of you guys out there working on carburetors. Check this out. Old Holly design, right, from Summit. Anybody notice anything weird about this?
It's just a reproduction.
Yeah, look though, the balls don't come off.
Oh, look at that. Look
Or
at
part of the
that.
body. That's a weird
Wow.
thing, right?
Unbelievable.
Oh, you just rebuilt the Quadrijet, really? Wow, they're still around.
Yeah, the Quadrijets are easy. Those are a little bit more of a pain in the rear end.
Yeah, so we got the carburetor for it. And we got the gas tank actually for it too, so that'll be going into this thing soon, hopefully.
Actually, the gas tank, I saw it on the floor over there as soon as I walked in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna get that together. This is still my partner's toolbox. I don't know if you guys remember the video. If you guys saw the video I did for New Year's, my partner's toolbox still looks the same. He's gonna learn to put his tools away one of these days.
Yeah, tomorrow, Joe. Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh man. Yeah, and just the same old thing, man. We got, we have just basic stuff here. I mean, as far as like benches and things like that, nothing crazy. We do a lot of electrical work. I mean, my partner does a lot of the heavy lifting type stuff. Like I said, shocks, struts, brakes, timing belts, whatever, just any kind of stuff like that. But we do a lot of electrical, a lot of big performance problems, things like that. And I got my finger in the camera. Sorry, guys. That's my box over there. It's a mess right now too. So I haven't had time to do much cleaning either, but that's what it is. So it's my. This is actually a Matco. 3-piece Matco box from years ago. I bought this when I was in the business, probably about, 3 or 4 years. No, I was with Joe 3 or 4 years probably. And it got run into rather with a car. And it fell on me twice. So it was damaged and I just airbrushed it myself and called it good. So
Is that an official Thomas sticker up there? I see.
What's that?
The sticker on top.
Oh, yeah,
I see
yeah.
Thomas up there.
Yeah, man, I advertise for the guys. That sticker. And
I just noticed that.
yeah, it's a big place. Like I said, I know you guys are welcome. We're gonna try. I'm gonna try to do something for March there at the TSP event. You guys are welcome to come down. We'll open up on Sunday. And yeah, I mean, just whatever you guys want to come down and play games, or scopes and stuff. You want to play with some diag stuff, play around, whatever you want to do. Just hang out. Order some pizzas. I don't care, man. We could do whatever.
Now I want to show you something else. A lot of you guys don't even know what this is.
Oh boy.
Look up there. You see up on top there? You're looking at that saying, what is that hunk of metal up there? What is that? Back in the day, back in the day, when you built an engine and you wanted to test it before you put it back into the vehicle, that's what you used to put it onto. You used to bolt it onto that. And then you could fire the engine up and you could actually run it. And that radiator was connected up in the front to cool it down. But that's what they used to use years ago. Well, that's what some guys, the real pros, used to use that. But you probably haven't seen one of them. I bet you most of the guys haven't seen any of that stuff, So. All right.
You're going to TST too, Kuba, or no?
All right, go back inside, Joe. That's the other. When I say it's a big shop, look at the size of this shop.
Nice. Yeah, I wish
It's
I
unbelievable.
could make it. It's gonna be hard for me. But
All right, let's go back inside and get set up back in there. Give us 1 second.
You're still welcome to come down. Either way, like I said, I'm gonna try to get some. I think Eric goes coming down, or he's planning to, and
I think Wyatt's going to be here too.
Go to the left. Oh, the office is a mess, guys.
Oh, they want to see the office?
Yeah, the office is a mess. I got a lot of crap in here. Again, I haven't had time to clean anything. You're lucky. You did go in 2000. You went in 2008. Yeah, I really want to go, man. I wanted to go to Vision. Just too much stuff going on right now. So hopefully,
Yeah, let's switch it back.
one day we'll get over there.
Let's go back on. All right, let's see what we got going on.
What I'll do is I'll shoot back onto Jimmy's channel so that we don't have two things going here. And you guys want to join in, you know where to go. Thanks for coming on.
Okay. All right. So that's pretty much the shop now. You guys get to see what that looks like inside there. But when I say it's a big shop, it's really big. So, you could do just about anything inside there.
Sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. When I come walking in here and I see the size. See, I've had different size shops. I had a gas station that was only 2 repair bays.
Thank you, Lon.
You could pull 2 cars in. That was it. And then from there, I went to another place that was on 53rd Street. I went to another place that was on 51st Street. And that place, I could get 6 cars into that place. Oh,
wow, really?
Lon says his sister has a Mark 1.
Lon, that Mark 1,
Wow.
the owner was telling me the original color on that was actually yellow. the
Oh,
owner,
I know it's called. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it was like a grabber yellow maybe or something. The guy,
yeah, it was like the canary bird yellow or
Yeah.
something like that. You had a car like that. Yeah.
my mom one right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Joe had a
Yeah.
Mustang like that too,
Yeah,
but he had a new one, so
yeah, fast one.
it was fast. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it was fast.
It was. Notice we said was.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Well, Joe's still here to talk about it though, so that's a good thing, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my share of oof.
There's a Mustang right up there. That's a new one. It's 72 or 73,
73,
right?
yeah.
73, yeah.
Yep.
There's a couple of Mustangs up on the shelf right here. You know, replicas, of course, not full size, but yeah, they're up there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a couple more real ones.
Yeah. You know, I often think about getting another car too, but it's just the amount of work that would have to go into it. It's how could you possibly devote that much time to it, you know?
Bring it down.
Yeah, I can leave it in your shop over here. Maybe you'll fix it for me.
Hey, that's before my time, man.
And
I don't
then you
know.
could send the bill to Mrs. Jim the car guy.
Oh, I just start turning the screws on the carburetor. That's how you adjust them, right?
There you go.
Turn
Yeah.
everything.
Just turn them all in. You know, if you want to get better gas mileage,
That's
turn
it.
them in all the way.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, we used to actually back in the day. That's what we used to do all the time too.
Look, he says you could work on an 18-wheeler in that shop. We should bring him next door.
But to tell you the truth, maybe we should.
Yeah.
It's too dark outside.
Yes.
They probably won't be able to see anything. If you guys saw outside over here, you wouldn't believe it. 18-wheelers. There's probably how many you think are out there?
How many?
Yeah,
There's 70 trucks probably.
Yeah, at
And
least
big- and 60 trailers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
it's
least
a lot.
outside. I mean, this
It's a
place
lot.
is tremendous here. When you guys see how big it is, it's just phenomenal. You know.
Yeah, that's what. See, they're talking about that TST event. That's freaking awesome. Like I said, I wish I would have realized it earlier because I would have made plans. But next year, I'm
It's
gonna.
going to be good. I'm sure, and I know why it's going to be that. Mike's going to be Eric and Keith, and
I know.
everything. I'm sure we're going to do a live stream from up there too.
Yeah,
That should be
fun.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, it's
It
gonna
should
be
be.
a lot of good people, man.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be the old man in the crowd. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah, Kuba's gonna be there too. She's,
Oh, no kidding,
yeah.
really?
Yep. She said she's got the TST event booked and everything. She's going.
Wow,
That's cool.
very good. I don't think I know.
Yeah, she's Kuba. You're a mobile tech, right? I keep forgetting if you're mobile or if you work in a shop.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
no way.
Why do you think I wear a hat?
Oh man.
Yeah,
she's a mobile tech.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
No.
You can start teaching me some programming.
Where's she located?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Where
I
do you
forget everything.
actually work out of? See. Look.
You said you got me by a few months. Nice.
Wyatt, I was telling Joe that story that when we were up someplace we were. Oh, up at Eric's. We were up there, and I remember we were standing around, and you were saying, "Yeah, I think I'm the old man in the crowd." And I said, "Well, how old are you?" And you told me, and I said, "Nope, I got you beat."
My God, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that's you guys are gonna have a lot of fun at that thing.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
it should be interesting. It should be.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's well, we're going to be up there Friday, but I don't think the event is till Saturday.
Saturday morning,
7
yeah.
a.m.
Yep. 7 or 8 o'clock. I think they start.
It should be good.
Philly.
Okay.
Roslyn, New Grove.
Okay.
Oh, really? An S10 Blazer?
Wow. No kidding, huh? And you get all the equipment inside that, huh? Wow.
Did you see?
That's similar to that truck, those two trucks you have out there.
I should have called you, Kuba, when I had that nightmare down here. That S10.
So, all right. I guess you guys saw the shop tour and everything, and like I said, you know, Joe's probably trying to do a live stream from time to time whenever he has an opportunity to.
Yep.
So, what did it say here? Yeah, Saturday should be an interesting day for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of hours.
It should be, yeah.
It's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
It's going to be good though.
Mhm.
But you're not. Wyatt's not doing the training, right?
You know, I'm not really sure about that. I'm
You
not sure.
You doing training, Wyatt, or no? Or you just going to hang?
Oh, okay. I see what she said. It's smaller vehicle because it's tight with the big trucks. I know a couple of mobile techs that actually have the big
Smart.
box truck, and that is a big problem. Is like when you get to the job, where do you put the box truck?
That's true. Well,
You
Keith
know?
uses Keith has a caravan, Grand Caravan.
Yeah, at least
So,
that
You got room in the back.
Take the seats out, flip them down or whatever.
Yeah,
You know, there's plenty of room.
that's what they use at the funeral home too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, tint out the windows, and you never know.
Oh, he is. Oh, Wyatt is. Oh, you are training. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
very
Wyatt.
good, Wyatt.
Nice.
Very
You're gonna.
good.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's gonna be real good, real good. So, like I said, man, I'm gonna try to make it for next year. See, but the 31st, come down. Just let me know in advance. Like I said, if we could get a head count or something, that'd be cool. Just so we know who's definitely coming.
Well, when I'm up there, I'm talking to you guys too. I mean, if hopefully beforehand everybody could talk about it and decide who's going to come down and do whatever. That'd be great. But if not, I'll give you a call when I'm up there.
Yeah,
and let
absolutely.
you know what's going on. I think
No
there's so
doubt.
far, at least 8-10 people, something like that so far.
Yeah, it's fine.
Something
We
like
can
that.
accommodate. Right?
Yeah, I think you got plenty of room
fit
out
8
there.
10 people.
Yeah, plenty of room.
Nice and comfy.
Yep. So,
All
all
right.
right. What do we got going on here? Let's see something here. What time is it? Wow. That's it.
So there it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
Yeah,
the clock.
yeah.
Mac.
So, yeah. I tell you, I'm lost without this.
I believe it. All right, cool. Why? Thanks. That'll work. Friday to Sunday. Oh, that's right. Cool. You're going to Vision too, right?
Hmm.
Damn.
Hmm.
You have some good training this year.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty neat. It's too bad you can't make it. But you know what? Maybe next year.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
try.
know?
I'm gonna try to shoot for next year.
Yeah.
Maybe in the meantime, we can. I could get things a little more settled and
Yeah.
calm
Yeah.
down a little. You know.
Yeah. Now, it is with a big shop like this, you got to keep on turning out product to pay the bills.
Yeah, bills don't stop.
Sometimes when you have a big shop, you're kind of forced to do things that you may not want to do normally. But when you have a big shop like this, it is a lot of cars got to get through the shop to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So all right, let's go back and let's see what anybody else had to say that we may have missed something here.
Cool.
Lon, good to see you as well. We're just going to scroll back a little bit, so see if we missed anything further up there.
Somebody said I thought it was at 7.
It was supposed to be at 7, but we're hanging around doing nothing. So I figured, what the heck, might as well go on a little bit early, just to see who was there. I'm sure that a lot of people get the notification too, just to
Pop in.
yeah, it pops up. Let me see. It's about 45 minutes north. I think that's probably 45 miles north. Okay.
Oh, right.
Driving area. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mess. It is a mess. I knew he was going to say something.
Yeah, I like Joe's mess. But you know what it is? If you have a shop and it's a clean shop, usually it means that you're not very busy. I mean, there's some days at my shop where I'll actually scroll down to see what's going down the bottom. There's some days at my shop where I'll walk in the shop and I'll look and it's like, what? For me, it's dirty and it's like, well, I did this the other day. And a lot of times you'll finish the job, just leave the stuff laying there, and you'll come back the next day to finally clean it up and get rid of whatever you can. But if you're busy all the time, it's just finding the time to do it. It's kind of difficult, So, all right. So you'll watch for us for.
She's right. She goes, Kuba. She's like, I hope there's enough I hope there's enough parking at the shop.
If not, we just open the doors.
Open the
and
doors
pull
and
right
bring 'em in.
inside. Yeah. Outside it's a little tight outside because of all the trucks out there, but I don't think you have any problem.
No, I think it'll be all right.
So, but yeah, that's it. What else did I want to talk about? Something else I wanted to say. I jotted down a couple things too.
So you're smart. You write things down. I try to remember. To forget.
This is the question I got for you. A lot of people ask me this all the time too, and I always say I'm going to address this, but I never do. What do you do when you're not fixing cars? Other than
wow. The obvious
people,
doing nothing.
yeah, exactly. Like people always say, well, what do you do for fun other than fix cars? Because a lot of people who don't work on cars all the time, their hobby is fixing cars. But when we're not fixing cars or working, what do you like doing?
When I had the Mustang years ago, I was tuning and stuff like that. I was messing around a lot with the tuning software for them. But nowadays, I sit home usually and vegetate or
You do that. You do the other thing too. I just saw it outside. Actually, a picture of a tank on it.
Yeah, I build radio controlled 16th scale military tanks. So like stuff from like World War II mostly. So I do that for guys all over the world. You know, it's a different type of thing. But I got hurt back in, I think, what was it, 08. I couldn't work for over a year. I was banged up real bad, and I couldn't do anything that I like to do with cars and welding and things like that. So I had to find something to keep me occupied. So that I found the hobby, and in the time that I was hurt, learned how to airbrush and do all the stuff. So yeah, so that's what I do in my I do a lot of that in my spare time.
I will say this to them though: if anybody ever saw a picture, like if you just saw the picture on your screen of this tank, you would say that that's a real tank. You wouldn't think that it's a model or a scale. I saw it on a computer outside there too. When we were walking around, I just saw it out there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I saw it on there.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, when you see these, you swear that they're it's a real tank. You wouldn't think it's a model.
Yeah, yeah, they come out pretty good.
So what else do you do? You fishing or any kind of hiking or skiing?
See, that's my wife's thing. My wife likes that stuff.
Yeah.
No, skis. Man, I seen people fall on skis. Oh, you fell on skis? I never saw you fall on skis.
Quite a few times. Quite a few times. Yeah.
I don't know, man. There was always something that rubbed me the wrong way with them things. I saw it and I was like, nah, that's not for me. Yeah. I used to like to ride bikes. Like that was my thing. Like I used to like motorcycles and stuff too. So I mean, you were into bikes.
Used to be years ago.
Got hurt real bad on a bike.
He's not meaning a bicycle. He means a motorcycle.
Yeah, and I didn't ride those race race bikes. I like the cruisers,
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I remember you had that. You had a Yamaha or something. Like
I had
that,
I had a 750 Yamaha Virago, and
yeah.
I had I had a Sig. I think for a short time, and I sold. I never got that thing registered or anything. I just kind of had it like for a week or two and got rid of it.
That was the last bike I ever owned. Was a
Sega?
A Yamaha. It was a Seika. Yeah,
they were cool bikes.
One I had.
They were nice.
It was a real nice bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but that fall sucked, man. I hit oil.
Oh yeah, when you go down, there's no control of it. Once you're going down, you're going down.
Yeah, and it landed on me, so that really sucked.
Yeah, that could definitely ruin your day, especially when you hit the ground and you start sliding.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That road rash.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it was kind of concentrated on my knee.
Yeah, you're lucky that's all it was. I had a friend of mine, right? The guy that I bought the Yamaha from, he worked at a dealership.
Okay.
And I bought a bike from him. Well, the place he worked for. And the way he had 1100. The way he got the 1100, a guy came in who never rode a big bike before. He had a little tiny bike, like a 125 or something like that, and he wanted to go up to an 1100. And he went in, he looked at this 1100, and they're talking to him, and they're feeling him out and everything. And he said, what do you think, about this bike? And he said, no, you really shouldn't get it. You should get something a little bit smaller. Maybe go with a 750 or a 900, something like that. And the guy said, nope. I want that 1100.
I want more power.
So they sold me 1100. 15 minutes later,
they bought
the bike back. What happened is he drove down the street, got about a mile away, and he wound up laying the bike down. And when he laid it down, he slid it underneath it. Whatever he hit, I'm not really sure. But when it hit the ground, the side cover on the side of the engine got smashed. Underneath that side cover is where your points were actually located. He smashed the cover, destroyed the points and everything. He wound up having the bike towed back up there. My buddy wound up buying the bike for next to nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one way to get a bike new.
Yeah. He drove out of the place. He had probably less than 2 or 3 miles on it. He crashed it. And he wound up buying it back.
Yeah, I used to tell my friends all the time, don't ride above your skill level because they don't realize how fast those. You know what I mean? I used to ride some of the race bikes, but they weren't mine. I never liked them to own one.
Yeah.
But I would ride some of my friends, and I used to tell them, like, you guys, these things are too fast, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you get a bike that big, it gets away from you very quickly. Yeah. If you're gonna ride, you're probably better off getting something that's going to be a smaller bike, something that's able to handle it, a little bit better. Yeah. When you start getting into like the 900s or 1100 or whatever, forget it. That's a lot of weight. I remember this guy was down at my shop, the mechanic I know. He was a motorcycle mechanic, right? And he brings in the 1100, and the bike is parked in front of my shop. And then you look at the bike, and it's standing up. You think it's pretty much straight, but it's not. It's leaning just a little bit to the one side. And this one guy comes over, and he sat on the bike, and he stood the bike up, and he kicked the kickstand up. And then when the bike started to lean a little bit, he wound up losing it. He wound up getting pinned under it.
Yeah, you don't realize how they're balanced real well. Yeah. Like when they're standing up, they're balanced well. But when
as soon as you get over just that little bit, a couple of degrees, and you get off to the side, you're gonna go down.
Oh, you ride too?
Oh, no
kidding. She like city rides worse. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, city riding is tough. I mean, I fell actually in what was it? I fell. I was in Jersey City coming into Bayonne on the S turns.
Oh, right there.
I hit oil.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Once you
Yeah.
hit oil, it's over. There's
Yeah.
nothing you got to do.
Yeah, and then I got back on the bike after I healed because I couldn't be the guy that was afraid to get on my bike. So I got back on the bike and I went to park it and fell.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? Selling the bike.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yep.
Well, when I stopped riding, it was actually I didn't go to a big bike right away. I actually started out with a 125, a dirt bike,
Oh,
a
yeah.
125 to a 175 to a 350, 450, 550,
Those bikes are nasty.
900, and then the last one I had was the 750 Seika, and I was on that Seika,
This is fun.
and me and Mrs. Jimthecarguy were actually on the bike, and we got kind of squished a little bit between two parked
You
cars.
kidding me?
Yeah, somebody backed up and pinched us between two cars. And I said, to me at that point, they said, I think it's riding the bike around the city. It's time to
get rid of it,
give it up. And that's the last time I drove.
Actually, really?
Yep. And once I got rid of the bike, I actually got rid of my license too, because I knew if I had the license,
You're gonna buy another bike.
I would be tempted to ride again.
Yeah. See, I almost bought another bike a couple of years ago. Actually, I think right when we moved in here,
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go buy a Harley, and I'm kind of glad that it turned out the guy was like lying to me on the phone about how great the bike was.
Yeah.
And I went to check it out, even though I was a tech and stuff. So I
Yeah.
started looking at it, and it was leaking oil everywhere.
That's a Harley. They leak just
I
about.
knew you were going to say that.
He's a big bike guy. I think Wyatt's a bike guy too. I think Wyatt's got I know he got a big cruiser. I just don't know what it was, but he's got a big bike too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show Joe before I leave today. I'm gonna show Joe the tour. I'm gonna make Joe feel really bad when I show him.
I feel bad already just thinking
when
about
I show
it.
Wyatt's shop, how organized everything is. You're gonna be surprised, to say the least.
Yeah, if I ever get some time, I'd like to organize everything in here, but it's hard, man. When you're trying to run a business and work and shoot videos and stuff.
Yeah, the only time you ever get to, I mean, with a shop this big, it would take you a lot of time to get everything organized and everything.
Yeah,
but it does take time. A lot of times what I would do at the shop too is just close up and see. My shop, I had steel doors I would pull down, so you pull down the steel doors and nobody would even know you're inside the shop. So pull the steel door down, and then I can go out there and clean up everything, and nobody even know you're in there.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's what was good.
Well, I know where everything is.
Oh, yeah. If
somebody,
no, that's true. That's true. I know that too. A lot of times, I know in my toolbox, if I needed something, I know the left drawer, second one down, I know exactly where everything is. And the same thing in the shop. If I know I needed an axle puller, I knew exactly where the axle puller was located. And, if I had certain parts, I knew where I put them, and, you can go right to them. So I knew that. All right, let's see.
Man, Wyatt, that would have been my dream job, man. Where you're flying, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
flying would have been fun.
Yep. Yeah, you. Oh yeah, 89.
Oh, an 89 Harley. Nice.
I thought so. I remember the picture of the bike in the garage, so I kind of figured it was.
Pilots don't retire. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
I had an elderly pilot next to me, living next door to me in one of the condos. He was 94, and he retired. He was an instructor in World War II.
Wow. For
the military.
Really?
Yeah. Then he flew commercial, I think, for a short time.
Yeah. Usually, a lot of the ex-military go over the commercial. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he retired from that, and he said he used to fly Cessnas, just for fun.
Yeah.
And then when he couldn't do that anymore because they said he was too old, he started building and flying radio control planes around. Like he used to go to these he used to take them all the time, show me they were nice.
I've seen some of these radio control things where some of them are, I mean, you look at them and you swear it's a real plane. They're tremendous. It's not like a small little radio control plane. You're talking about one.
No, they're enormous.
2-3 feet.
Yeah, yeah. These things. He used to actually have to he had a Subaru, and he used to have to take the wings. They were like biplanes. The wings would come off, and they would be sticking out of the Subaru like 2 feet.
Yeah.
They were big, man.
Yeah.
The fuselage was like that. You know what I mean? It was a big plane, man.
Want me to tell you a story about my radio controlled plane?
Boy, it couldn't be as bad as mine.
Oh yeah, it could be. It could be. Well, I decided Wyatt, you're going to kick out of this one too, right? One day I decided I was going to get a a radio control plane. I was going to go out because I was actually in Pennsylvania one time, and I saw the people up there flying these radio control planes, and I thought, wow, that looks like it's a lot of fun. So I'm going to do it. So I went out.
Would be if you could fly them.
Yeah, it would be if you could fly them. I bought the plane, which you had to put together. So you build a plane, you buy the engine, you buy the remote, you buy all this stuff. It's expensive. It's not cheap. And I put the whole thing together, and I remember it was me, and I think it was Mrs. Jimthecarguy and maybe my son. And we go and we take the plane out and to a big field. We start the plane up, we get it running and everything. The controls will work and everything is great. Take it out to the thing. It's a grass runway, right? Bring it out to the grass thing, and I take the thing and I run it down the runway. And Wyatt, I know you're going to say something about this, but the plane takes off. It comes flying up, comes around, does like a complete loop straight around, and boom, nosedive into the ground. Blew that thing into a million pieces.
Are you serious?
Swear to God. That was the one and only time I sold everything. Yeah. I mean, it got destroyed. It took me forever to build it, and it took all of about maybe 30 seconds to destroy it.
Well, a couple of years ago, I was talking to Rosmo about drones. I wanted to buy a drone because I thought it was just a cool idea. I could fly a drone around here and like get the pictures and stuff.
I had somebody actually wanted to send me one to do a video for them on it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Oh, I don't do it. No, did you get?
Oh yeah, Rosmo bought me a drone for Christmas that year.
Really?
2 years ago. I swear, a beautiful piece, right? Like that big, nice, So I was like, damn, like hugged him. I was like, this is great. So he's like, yeah, learn how to fly. We'll have some fun. I go home. I charged the batteries and read the instructions. I went online and read all the stuff about it and did, video reviews I was reading. I was like, I could do this. I could fly this.
Uh-oh. So I don't see it around here anywhere, Joe.
Well,
what do you think happened to it?
I think the stamping on the machine is actually still embedded somewhere in here because it hit me in the bridge of my nose at about 900 miles an hour.
Holy crap. Wow.
Yeah, in my house.
In your house?
Yeah, because I was trying to be smart. See, I thought I was slick. I said, I'm into all this high-tech stuff. Like, I'll get it to hover.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just
like
learn
they do
how
on
to do
YouTube, like you see on YouTube.
Well, I figured if I could get it to hover, then I could start making controls really easy, just go easy. And I hit the control when I had it hovering perfect. I was getting it to go up, down. It was perfect. And I had it hovering about here. And I was like, all right, now I'm just going to try to get it to go backwards. And I touched the stick, and it came shooting forwards. And it hit me right in the face.
Yeah.
And I saw stars. I was like, oh. And I put it in the box, and it's been sitting there for 2 years in my closet where it's safe.
Oh, you still got it?
Yeah, it's in the closet.
Mine wasn't
in the dark.
Mine wasn't even savable. Yeah, look at that.
Pilot error. Yeah, it was.
I tried blaming it on Mrs. Jimthecarguy, but that didn't work.
So yes, some things some people should own, and that I should own the drone. And I don't know. I think you should try the planes again, though. You'll be all right.
Maybe one day. Maybe I have to have Wyatt show me how to fly the thing.
Helicopters. Yeah, they're talking about helicopters, man.
Helicopters are really hard to fly, them things.
I wrecked my friend's $600 helicopter.
$600.
Yeah, he goes. You got to try it.
When they come up off the ground, they start to rotate. The whole thing.
Well, this one didn't do that. This one actually just went up and it went over. Yeah, and it blew into little pieces.
Oh man!
I said, now you have mini copters.
Let's not say.
They're laughing, but it's true stories.
Yeah, you can't make that stuff up.
No. No, I shouldn't be around things that fly.
So what else do you do for fun other than crash
drones
and
drones?
Make tanks?
Oh man! Nowadays, not a whole lot, man. Everything's revolving around work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, my wife works. I work. The shop is like everything right now.
Yeah.
Trying to get this built.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're around for 42 years and you're around for 2 years.
Yeah,
it takes a while before you start to realize that you have to have private time too, especially for you and your wife. You have to enjoy doing things too.
Well, we both work a lot, so it kind of evens. I guess it evens out because we'll go out, we'll go to New York every once in a while. We just saw actually it's already a few months ago we went to see Wicked.
Oh, that was pretty good. That was really good. That show. I saw that probably 10 years ago.
Did you?
Yeah, it was really good.
And we got to see it with Jackie Burns playing the main role. I'll tell you what, it was really excellent. It was good. I'd go back. Stuff like that. We went to see Bocelli.
Oh, okay.
We go out. I mean, but we don't go out like every week. You know what I mean?
I guess going to the city. Anybody who's not from around this area knows that New York City, it's not cheap. Just getting to the city costs your fortune.
Yeah.
Whatever it costs to get through the tunnel nowadays, and All right, let's see what we got. Wyatt said.
Go around the airport.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, you got-
Oh, okay.
All right. Well,
Okay.
hey, it's cool, man. I mean, we'll see what whoever can make it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I said, we'll be here. We have enough people that are interested. I'll just come down that Sunday or whatever. And,
Yeah.
like I said, do whatever.
Yeah, I'll be here too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's fine.
Because he said the key word pizza.
Pizza's awesome. Yeah,
So we got
that's what I
pizza.
do in my spare time. I eat a lot of pizza.
Yeah. You look like you're putting on weight, Joe.
Dude, I got this belly going. It's no good, man.
That's why I had to give him the fat man shirt.
I
I brought down two different ones that said what was it, medium or large? And I'll
take the
take the
large.
large. Yeah.
I used to have a six pack, man. I got a keg.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Pizza. His name's Pizza. That works.
Oh, message retracted. What?
I don't know what happened.
Oh.
That was cool.
What did it say? Retracted.
Something about pizza.
Okay.
He said he's in, I think. I was like, hey, let's go.
Pizza and beer.
I don't know why. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Technically I'm off Sunday, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Do you have Wyatt? Wyatt, you want to just call Joe? I can give you. I'll text you over.
You're right,
his
Cuba.
phone number. And that way you can. You can talk
That's
and
fine.
work it out too.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, well, you
No
can go
problem.
through me, whatever. I get Joe's number, and if that's okay, Wyatt, if it's okay with you, I'll give Joe. Your phone number. I just saw it.
He's your pizza now, I'm in. Yeah, Cuba's right. She's like pizza's universally accepted.
That's right.
That's
That's right. Except when you're young like this, it's pizza and beer. When you
Not
get old
young
like
anymore,
this,
man.
it's pizza and soda or water.
Oh man.
But yeah, it should be good. I think you're going to have a good turnout down here with a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Because really, from there to here, how far is it? It's not really too far.
it's true. Yeah, she's right. It's 2 months. I mean, we got time, so it's
yeah. There's
no
plenty
big
of
deal.
time. Plenty of
no
time.
big deal. Whenever
Hayward's in the house.
Oh yeah.
Was
How
Hayward
you
here
do?
before? I didn't see him before.
I don't think so. You just got in, right?
Oh. Hayward's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, we talk a
Slick
lot.
guy too.
Yeah.
A lot of smart people out there, man.
Oh yeah. You see on here. You see a lot of people on there that we know. The only one I didn't see tonight, and he could be out there, but I didn't see Eric on there tonight.
I didn't see Eric.
I didn't see him tonight. So
He's probably busy.
okay.
Yeah, we're just talking about a get together down here hopefully for March. We're just trying to get some ideas.
Yeah.
See what happens today. For after the TST seminar.
Yeah, and if Hayward, if you go back, you could actually take a tour of Joe's shop. Yeah, his shop is probably 4 times the size of mine.
I didn't even
So
think it
we
was that
actually-
much. It's crazy. I didn't think it
At
was that much
least.
bigger.
At least my shop, I could get
4 cars. 4 cars.
4 cars. 4 cars in and work on them.
Oh,
where
right,
you
right.
could-
If you
You
want to
could get
stay
in here. I could probably get 6 in there, but you can't work on 2 of them in the air.
Yeah.
But here you have plenty of room to work on multiple different things.
Yeah.
So,
It's
you
yeah,
could
it feels
probably
like it's
wind up
packed.
redoing that Mustang. Pull that motor out. What's that? A 390?
51. That's a Cleveland.
351.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Cleveland.
Mhm.
The Cleveland's a good motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you rebuild it?
Yeah, I've done so many.
I know
of them
you have.
with my eyes closed.
I know.
Yeah.
You know
The
they
new
make
stuff
this-
I don't touch, but the old stuff like that, I can do that with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And that Cleveland motor, that thing is amazing. When you pull it apart, it's built just like the Hemi used to be.
I don't know if I told you that engine actually got about 200 miles on it.
Oh, that's the one they had rebuilt it or something?
I mean, it's
Is it
25 years
smoking
ago.
anymore? It's not smoking.
It's blowing black smoke from the
Oh,
carburetor.
black smoke.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Well, the story was, did you tell them what was the story in that car?
Yeah. That it's. You mean about it sitting or the?
Yeah, well, what happened is the guy, that Mustang outside there,
Mhm.
what happened, it came to Joe because the guy who bought the car, he said that he had the engine rebuilt, 20-something
Thanks,
years ago? Rebuilt the engine 20-something years ago, and it was smoking, and that the engine was no good. It had to come out
Yeah.
and be rebuilt again. As it turns out, once Joe got it running, he realized that it
It's
wasn't.
black smoke. Yeah.
It was, instead of being the white smoke, which is usually a pretty good sign that there's a
Head
problem
gasket
with
internal,
burning
yeah, something.
antifreeze or burning oil. As it turns out, it was black smoke, which meant it was dumping.
And
it was
that's
all
what
that
my
raw
eyes were
fuel.
burning out of my head.
Yeah, that would do it too. Back in the day, you get these cars in the shop, and even if you had the car by the door and the door was open and
Mhm.
running, all of a sudden you'd be working and you look at your hand and it's like, wow, why is my hand so red? Your whole body turns
carbon monoxide.
Yeah, because your body will accept or take the carbon monoxide in before it'll even take in oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wind up with carbon monoxide poisoning, and then this feels like somebody's banging you in the head.
How many times do you think we've gotten that over the years?
Hundreds and hundreds. It got to the point where if I had a car come into my shop and it was running, like I remember one in particular was a Cadillac.
Right.
It came in and it was dumping so bad. I said to the guy, I'll work on it tomorrow, but I'm not working on it today because it can't come in the shop and it's raining out there. I'm not going to work in the rain on the car. Yeah. And I wound up having to leave it there until the next day when the sun came out so I could work on it outside because you wind up with such a freaking headache from that. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to go home with them all the time. When we were doing a lot of carburetor stuff.
Yeah.
I don't miss that.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, these cars, we used to do the carburetors on these all the time. You pull that carburetor off and you could clean it up and rebuild it in probably an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
When you have everything to it.
Yeah.
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 You know, you look at these carburetors now and it's like, there's so many intricate parts in there compared to what it is today on the cars. There's nothing in that carburetor.
No, I know.
You know, this one here, the old Hollies, you can separate them, pull them apart, take it apart, change the needle and seat.
Yeah, that thing, I'm pretty sure they blew the power valve in it, in the one that's on the car now.
Okay.
And because if you look in the carburetor, the throat, you can see that you can see the black soot from where it popped.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think they had that thing. Maybe the timing was off, whatever they were doing. They were popping back.
Yeah, once it backfires through the intake,
yeah, they usually blew the valve out. Yep.
Very common.
So
I just saw a video the other day, and you probably saw it too, where a guy had I won't mention his name because I don't see him on here tonight, but it's another shop that we know that he was actually.
Later, Wyatt.
Wyatt's going.
Yeah.
Wyatt, good to see you. Take care. And I'm looking forward to March. We should have a good time up there. I am going to come up, just so you know, Wyatt. I am going to come up on Friday, and I'll be there Friday and Saturday. So it should be interesting, to say the least. Yeah, there was another shop that we were just talking about before, the guy uptown. And he just did a video on replacing the accelerator pump on the old 2-barrel Ford car.
Oh, really?
It was real common. They used to leak all the time. You'd wind up with a fuel leak in the front of it, right around by the fuel filter.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Underneath this, the bellows would actually go bad. The bellows, from every time you step on the accelerator, it would push in and pop back out. It would pump the fuel into the carburetor. Yep. And what happens, the bellows would go bad, and every time you stepped on it, it would come squirting out, and it would be a mess underneath there.
My buddy's Bronco was like that. Actually, that is exactly what happened to his Bronco. We put a Holly on it, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, you used to see all those cars burning on. You see them on fire.
They go on fire, right?
Whenever they would leak, where would it leak? Right out through that front there. Where was the most of the time?
Yeah.
The up in the front is where the distributor was. So you're squirting gasoline in the distributor.
Yeah, it's a good. That's all right.
It
works out well.
Yeah,
some barbecue on the side of the road.
The other ones I remember years ago too. You probably I don't know if you remember this. Points.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we used to have cars come in all the time, and it was the one in particular I remember was a Buick. It was an older Buick, and it was the 350 or any of them actually, the 350 or the 455s or whatever. And
big engine,
that was a big engine, but the distributor used to sit right in the front.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, and the window that you adjusted the points from was right in the front. So whenever you drove through a puddle, water would get in
right
there,
inside. Yeah,
and it would actually get wet. In the
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they would die out.
Yeah, because that car actually, that's one of those cars was exactly what I learned how to set points on years ago.
Yeah,
because I remember Joe told
me. A little window in it.
Yeah, you could see the window, and I was like, oh.
And the problem is you're getting in there you're trying to adjust the points, and the fan is about that far away from your finger. So you got the fan spinning at whatever speed the thing is spinning. And as you're trying to get in there and adjust the points, because you had to get the dwell exactly right for the thing to run properly.
Yeah,
at 30. Ideally, anywhere from 28 to 32, but you always want to get it exactly on 30, and you'd have to get in there and adjust it. And the problem with that is that you'd be driving, you run through water would kick up and get all over everything, and sure enough, the engine would stall out
on you.
So their idea of fixing it was actually to sell you a rubber boot. Like a boot to go around the outside of it to keep the water from kicking in, and it worked.
Did it really?
It worked really good. Yep. And then somebody else come up with this brilliant idea too. It's like silicone. If you spray silicone all over it, it'll keep the water from penetrating and getting into it. And guess what? It didn't work.
Yeah.
That rubber boot, though, that worked really good.
That's a slick idea with the boot.
Yeah.
I've had shops.
See, Hayward's an old timer, too. Look.
30 degrees, 17. Yep.
17, 19. Yep. Then Hayward's going to remember this, too. When you had a car that broke down on the road back in those days, you would go on a road service and you would take a screwdriver and a book of matches. and you could get
You
that
set the
car
points
running.
with the book of matches,
Yep.
yeah. Well, I've had shops call me and tell me that they got a car and that has points,
Mhm.
and they did a tune-up on it and put, points condenser
And it
close,
won't run.
and it won't run.
Yep.
And I was like, well, the points are closed.
Mhm.
You didn't set the points right.
Oh, you don't just put them in?
Just put them in.
They didn't realize you have to adjust
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
They didn't know that the cam had put it up on the cam. You know what I mean?
The other one used to be a pain in the rear end too. I don't know if you remember this, but
Which
it
one?
was actually, which car was it?
Excuse me.
It was a GM. I don't remember which one it was, but it had dual points in it. Does anybody remember the dual points? It had dual points on it.
Seen one. I haven't worked on much of that. Yeah.
What it was, you had the regular GM
Mhm.
with the regular cap and the regular rotor on there, and then when you pulled it off, there was dual points in there.
Yes.
One was leading and one was trailing.
Yes.
And you had to adjust them individually, so you made sure they were both exactly
They were
on
going to
30.
open. Yeah, they were going to open right. Look at that. Kuba's saying that she still sees points. Really?
Cushman carts? Wow, no kidding. Huh?
Cushman carts.
That's those little scooter
Yeah, the
things,
scooters.
like,
they use points.
wow, I'm
Ignition.
surprised. I'm very surprised. I didn't. I don't. Once the cars disappeared, and you didn't have points on. They had electronic ignition. A lot of the motorcycles still had
They had
points
points
on them.
Yeah.
Because one of the Hondas I had, it was underneath the side cover, and they used to have dual points in there too. Yeah, they had dual points on these.
Actually, ran good on a bike though.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, because it was covered, it was sealed. Nothing ever happened. The only problem we ran into years ago is that you would actually, if you had gotten in your car and you turned your key on to listen to your radio, you couldn't do that. If the points were in the closed position, they would actually weld closed.
It would, right.
So when you tried to start the car, it wouldn't start.
Yep.
Because the points would actually weld together. And if by chance you got it to start, it would pull apart. And when it did, it would actually transfer metal. So when you looked in the points, instead of being perfectly smooth on both sides,
like
one side would be indented, the other side would be sticking out.
Yeah.
And back in the day, they used to sell a points file. You could go in there and you could file with a tiny little file, and you could file the points down.
We had them at the shop years ago. Now I got to look and see if I can find them.
I saw your rack over there with some of the old parts on it from back in the other shop.
That's right. I got to look and see if I can find that stuff now.
I bet you still have it.
That's funny. I can't believe that they actually still make something that works with points. That's crazy.
But you know what? They ran really good.
Look
at Hayward dual points. They had the Corvette did have the dual points too, but it was a GM, but it wasn't the Corvette though.
First hit gap 28.
You know what? I think Ford came with them actually too, with dual points too.
40 years old. Oh wow. These things are old.
Oh, okay. So that's why they still got the points in it. They probably never made conversions. See, the problem they have with a lot of the cars today is that the cars, including probably that Mustang there, they converted to the HRV.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that thing has an XL. It's a conversion. It's just a points conversion to high energy.
Yeah.
They worked.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, you know what I mean? I've installed a few sets of them.
Yeah, back in the day when they first came out with it, there was a lot of problems with them. You used to have them breaking down all the time, Yeah. But then once they perfected it, they worked really good. And the spark is a lot hotter with something like that.
Oh yeah, you could definitely feel the car runs better. You know what I mean? The car runs smoother.
When you actually see a spark from a regular points and condenser, you see a spark, and the spark will be maybe a 1/4 inch, and it's not like a bright blue color. It's more like a whitish type color. But when you get them with the conversion there, that spark
they crack.
It's blue and it's probably an inch. So it actually causes the plug to burn off a lot more efficiently.
Yeah, they definitely work. Mm-hmm. I only had one. I'll tell you what, I've installed a number of them units over the years in different cars, and I had one that we put in that didn't work. It was just a defective unit, but most of the time you get them, they're fine. Yeah, when they first came out with them years ago, they had a problem. I just want to read this. I saw Hayward says something about a file. I still have it. And the flux. Oh yeah, for adjusting the points. That's right. Well, I'll explain what that is. When you had the up in the front there, you could get in there with an Allen wrench, but you could lose your fingers inside there. What they did is they came out with a tool. I think it was made by Snap-on, and you could actually take it. It was a flexible tool. You could take it and put it into the points, pull it up straight up, and then you could start the car with the tool up on top, and you could adjust it up on the top, and you could watch on your tack and dwell exactly what the points were being set to. Fingers were
and
safe.
Then it was safe, and then you had to shut the car off to get that out of there, because if you tried to pull it out, your hands will wind up in the fan.
Oh yeah. No. Oh man.
I remember one guy came into my shop when I was working for a guy, and it was probably when I first started. And he came in with a Ford. It was a 390, and he came in with that, and you know, he came in, and it was a problem with the heating on there. Okay, it's quiet. And it was a problem with the heat, and as it turns out, there was no heat, and the car was overheating. And you look down inside there, and what happened is the water pump went bad, and when the pump went bad, the fan went right through the radiator, right through it, cut a perfect hole in the radiator. Of course, all the antifreeze leaked out, and it just wound up, you know, destroying the radiator. But that was a real big problem because the 390s, the fan was probably less than an inch.
Yeah,
you know,
it was right on top of the radiator,
maybe ½ inch to a 3/4 inch. So
it just ate the radiator,
ate it right up. When the bearing went bad on the pump would lean, and when it leaned, the bottom would just eat the radiator up.
That's sick.
Yeah,
man, and I've seen fans break. I actually saw one go through a radiator, but it wasn't the whole assembly like that. Like it was a plastic fan.
Okay.
I actually mentioned in one of the videos that I did, I think the water pump video, I was saying always if you take them off, look at the fan blades because they crack, those plastic ones.
Yep.
And guys neglect that. You know, they just, it's all right.
Yep.
And I've seen one of them break. It's not cool, man. It was all right.
There was a guy, when I first started way back a long time ago, there was a guy who was actually killed.
Was it really?
Yep. What happened is they call them flex fans. And you know, Hayward's going to remember this too, was the Fords had them. They were flex fans. And what happened is when you revved it up, it was a direct, there was no clutch.
It's on there.
Oh, that's on there too?
Dude, I almost lost a finger on that thing the first day I had it running.
Yep. There is no clutch inside there. So when that thing is running, that's spinning at whatever the RPMs are of the engine. That's what they're spinning at. Well, back then what used to happen is, you know, back then we did a tune-up back then. You used to, and anybody who's old-timer knows this too, used to take a bottle of water, like a soda bottle of water, and you would actually race the engine up, and you'd pour the water down the side that they throw to the carburetor, and the water would go down there and break up all the carbon would come out, and then you would do your tune-up because all the carbon is out of the engine. Sure. You know, it was nice and clean. One guy, what happened, he was racing the engine up to do that, and one of those fan blades let go, hit him in the chest, and it stuck in his chest just like a knife and killed him.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So they sent out a whole bunch of TSBs on that, you know, telling you.
I'm done working on that thing.
Always check them whenever they were cracked. Yeah, that's what I used to do back in those days. Jesus. You know, because you can't check every fan. You know, you look at them and they look okay, but each blade could have a small hairline crack in it.
Right.
I always went to the back further and then laid down low on the fender. So if I let go, it's going up.
That's smart.
You know?
That thing, when I started it up, I was like, man. Like that, you know, the sound, they have a distinct sound.
Oh yeah, you can tell when there's a clutch on it, you can hear it, and when there's no clutch on it, you can
just hear that whirling like. And I started that thing up, and I was like, I hate those fans. The first thing that hit me, I hate them fans, man, because I've sliced my fingers open on them. You know, they never. I don't know about this one. I didn't even go near it, but the edges, they used to never finish them.
Yeah,
so if
it was a rough.
Reach your hand, you'd catch them, and it'd be like a razor blade, just slice you up.
Yep,
so
exactly.
I said, they're not dangerous enough, you know.
Yeah. Let me just see what this one is here.
Gotta go.
Something. Who's going?
Junior Little. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good night.
Okay. Just remind me to give you Ryan's number.
Okay.
For a takeoff too.
Kuba, you work on any old cars or besides those carts? Do you do anything with like old hot rods or anything like that, or are you just into the stuck like me, like doing most of the you know, newer crap?
I will give Joe a lot of credit. I'm actually going to say this because he's
me.
You.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Have you noticed it's been almost an hour since you had a cigarette?
Yeah, I want to quit.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
you should.
I smoke like 75 a day, man. It's enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I need to quit.
Yeah. You know, I had a guy work for me one time, and I'm not knocking anything, but this kid worked for me one time, and he never had any money. You remember Timmy?
Yeah.
He used to work for me, right?
Yeah.
And I said to him one time, he was a chain smoker, one after another, but he couldn't smoke in the shop. He had to smoke outside.
That's right. I couldn't smoke in your shop either. You throw me out.
I let him smoke here because it's his shop. But if he comes to my shop with a cigarette, it's like, leave the cigarette outside. Yeah. But this guy here, I said to him one time, he had an old car, and I said to him, Timmy, I said, I can get you a brand new car for free. You interested? He said, yeah, how can I get a brand new car for free? And I told him, stop smoking and get rid of your storage units. Because he had all the stuff in storage, you know?
Dude,
yeah.
Read what Kuba wrote. I asked her if she worked on her hot rods.
A Model T, wow.
You got to be kidding.
Wow.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I have
you don't see many of them anymore. I got one of my neighbors down where I live now.
I love that
He's
car.
got a 1940 something. Actually, I'm going to
86
find out
S10.
about it. Maybe I'll let the guys know. Everybody know on here. He wanted to sell it actually.
Yeah,
1940. No, 1936.
really.
Ford. Yeah.
I got a buddy of mine that just I don't remember if I did a video on it or not. I probably didn't. He came down here with a 1929,
Wow.
and yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's
Wow.
it came all over. He has everything for it. You know, the fenders, the whole thing is like mint.
Wow.
And he took it all off and did it like that old hot rod style.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah,
it's
but
cool.
he still kept all
He
the
kept
stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
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 It's cool though.
Yeah. You know, I did a video one time on, remember Joe's car, the Torino he had?
Yeah,
I did a video on that one. I didn't even tell you about that.
I saw it.
Yeah?
Yeah, see, I watch your channel.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw it. I gave you a thumbs up on it.
I did a video on the repair of the window.
The windshield.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, he got rid of the car. He got aggravated with it.
I wish I knew he was getting rid of it. I would have bought that car.
Really? It was a nice car, man. It was that car actually was in really good. Well, you saw it. I mean, it
That
was in really good
condition.
shape.
I mean, it was what was nice about it. It wasn't redone. It wasn't retouched. It was
No,
all
it was a
original.
survivor.
The paint was a little bit,
Yeah.
not perfect because it was the age. Was it
Yeah.
70? I'm thinking it was a 70.
You know what? I was just thinking about this the other day, and I can't remember if that was a 70 or a 71, or I think it was a 70.
70 or 71. They're both the same anyway.
Maybe,
I think
yeah,
it's
that's
later
why.
on they went 72 went a little bigger, and the 73 went with different bumpers.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think it was a 70. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But that was a cool car, man.
that was
I
a
really
real
liked
nice
it.
car.
Yeah.
If I
put the
knew he
rear
was selling
springs
it,
in
I would have bought it.
Really?
Yep.
He gave it
Yeah.
away too.
After my Mustang days, do you remember this? After my Mustangs, I had Torino, the Gran Torino, like in that movie.
Yes, the
I had
Gran
that
Torino.
car, except it
You did?
didn't have the scoop on the hood. I had a
Okay.
Gran Torino. Yeah, 73.
I wanted
I had a
a.
72 for a while too, but that was only after I crashed my Gran Torino. I crashed my 73 and I had to buy a
Did you really?
72 just to get around with while I was
While I
doing
was
the body
fixing it.
work over. Yeah. Actually, let me tell you, sir, this what happened is I had a 67 Mustang. I redid the Mustang, and I had the Mustang and I had the Torino, the 73 Torino and the 67 Mustang.
Okay.
And it was a fastback. And I decided I'm going to keep both of them. I'm going to sell one of them. I said, you know what? I'm going to sell the Mustang. So I put the Mustang up for sale, sold it just like that. Sold the car. The guy picked it up and he leaves. Driving home that night, I crashed my Torino. In one day, I lost both my cars.
You've got to be kidding.
I sold the one and crashed
Oh
the
my
other one.
God, man. That's not cool. That's a bad day.
Yeah, and I lived all the way
That's
up in the Heights. I had to get down to Bayonne to work. So I had to go out that night. and
Like
buy
taking a
another
bus.
car.
You took
The bus days, me on the bus didn't work.
Yeah, I'm with
No.
you.
I went and bought a car just to get back and forth to
God.
work.
She.
Gran
No.
Torino, Clint Eastwood. Yep, McGee 63.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's exactly the car, same color and everything.
You know what else we got Kuba down? She's man, she's got to come down and hang out. She's into like these Fords. We have we have the same customer that has that Model T has a 66 Country sedan. You got to see this thing,
Really,
bro.
wow.
It's gorgeous, and if you probably know what it is. It's like a Galaxy wagon, basically, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. This thing must have been like an old milk car, so like one of those things that I could just see it like years ago.
Mhm.
But it's badass. It's got a hood scoop on it. It's done with rally stripes on it, like like Shelby stripes
Starsky
type.
and Hutch type thing
Yeah,
years
it's
ago.
cool,
Yeah.
man. It's cool. It's a beautiful blue with white stripes.
Mhm.
It's got what does that have? A 302 in it, I think.
Okay.
It's not original, but I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Uh,
You get those older cars.
That's-
It is nice. It really is. If I had a shop this big, or if I had a garage in my house this big, I'd have a lot of the older cars too.
yeah. Well, believe me, I would like to get my hands on something that I could play with, but. Those Fords, man, those old Fords I don't know, they just kill me. I love them cars, man.
Yeah.
The old Mustangs,
When
the
I
Model
was
Ts.
when I was a kid, first working up on, it actually was on Thorn Street and Kennedy Boulevard. I used to work up there, and back in the day, back then, everybody had.
It's good. Eric will call you. Eric's gonna call me.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh, Keith coming. Ivan's unknown right now.
Keith,
Okay.
Keith coming and Ivan. Oh, Ivan from he's talking about Pine Hollow, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ivan, absolutely, man. I got to hang out with him recently as well. I was with him and
Keith.
Keith, Brandon Steckler. I'm trying to remember. I don't want to leave anybody out. Chris Martino was there. Yeah, it was a great time, man. Ivan's brother, fun, a lot of fun, good people. We're 302. Yeah. That was probably. What do you think, Jimmy? 289 in that one, right? Originally,
probably a 289. 289. It was like that. That was the best.
66, right? Oh no, wait a minute. That might not have been a 289.
If it's a 66, it might have been a 289. Because I
they
know
were,
it had to be because my Mustang 67 was a 289.
289. Yeah.
And then after that,
man,
I think around 1970 it came out to 302s.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I used to know
the 289, they would run forever. Actually, you know what?
Yeah, it's a great
I think
engine.
it was the 289 that actually had dual points in it. Remember Ronnie's car? Didn't have dual points in that thing. That was the high output.
Wow, you know what? I forgot about that car. Oh my God. I think you're right.
That was the one that was a 289, but there's a high performance 289 that came with the gold valve.
Yes, it had the gold valve
and
covers.
I think it had dual points in there too. I think
Hayward?
it did.
I'm trying to remember. I think it
did
did
too.
too.
Sure, it might have.
Wow.
I think it did come.
Over at Chris's. Oh, no, we were. You know what? I don't know whose shop we were at. I was in Staten Island. I got an address from Keith, and he called me when I was here late on a Saturday, and I was like, okay, I'll be right over. So I just
Googled. The bridge was open.
I almost drove off it. Yeah, that bridge.
Anybody who knows Bayonne and Staten Island knows that the bridge is never open. It's always under construction over there.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we got to.
What's Joel saying here? Something about a boring shirt. Hey guys, Grace from Jim. Shirt is.
You don't have your Hawaiian on.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was thinking about that when I was actually coming down and thinking, should I put And I said, nah. This is a regular work day, so the Hawaiian shirts are for on Sundays. And I will tell you this: I got some new Hawaiian shirts too.
Oh no.
Yep. You go in my closet. I probably got 25, 30. I'm an old guy. I can wear Hawaiian shirts.
Hey, man, it's okay. Maybe I should start wearing them here.
I should have brought, instead of bringing you Jimthecarguy, I should have brought the Hawaiian shirt.
Maybe I got to start wearing Hawaiian shirts here.
Hey, wouldn't hurt.
Customers would definitely think I'm nuts.
No, then they know you lost your marbles. Yeah.
All right, Hayward agrees. He said 289 high performance. Now, that was a K engine, right?
Yeah, that was when
the A code.
They came with a 4-barrel. It came with 289. Right. It was the gold valve covers from the factory.
Right. If it was a K code, I'm trying to think. I'm rusty. The A code was what Tony had in his, and that was the high performance. But then they had the K code, which had the solid lifters, if I remember, solid cam. I could be wrong. Hayward is probably going to correct me here, but I do remember something with that back then. Because I did work on a few of them.
I'm pretty sure that 289, that the high performance was not solid lifters. I'm pretty sure it was hydraulic.
It was hydraulic on that one?
I seem to remember adjusting them on that car.
Oh, all right. Then definitely, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it had dual points in it, too. I'm not
Could be a different engine I'm thinking of, too, a different model.
Yeah.
Or a different year even.
30-something years ago. It's tough to keep track of what's what,
I look back on Tony's Mustang, too. I mean, I did a lot of work on that over the years.
Tony from Down by Joe's?
Yeah, his cousin. The red Mustang he had. And that car was amazing. But yeah, I think back and I'm like, man, that was a long time ago. That wasn't, it feels like it was yesterday.
You start thinking about it. Like when I think, I had,
the bridge is almost done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's almost done. And then they're going to start to redo it.
Yeah.
As soon as they finish it, they're going to come back and start doing it over again. It's like the Turnpike Bridge over here. You got to go over the Turnpike Bridge leading from Bayonne over to Newark Airport. It's always under construction. They rebuilt it a couple of years ago, and now you go up there again, and they got the dividers up at the Jersey barricades, they call them.
They're using inferior parts. That's the problem. They're using Dorman.
They got the
deal. Did I say that
Dorman. Well, Dorman.
Can I say that?
Get that out of there. No, Dorman is a great product.
It is. Look, they give you extra parts.
You don't need that. It's the option package.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. These guys are great.
Well, they got 289 to 63 Falcon.
So that's a badass car too.
Had a 289, great car. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Did I tell you about the story about this guy? There was a guy that I knew. We used to call him Big Danny, and he went. He back in, I think it was in the early '60s. He was telling me. I don't know this for a fact, but he was telling me about it. That he ordered an Impala, and it was the 409, and he ordered it from the factory, to be built for him, and they shipped the car to the dealership minus the engine. They didn't have an engine
No
for
engine.
it. There was a problem with the 409, and they couldn't produce the engine.
Wow.
And it sat in the delership for weeks.
Wait a
if
minute, you
not
said a
months.
Chevy though, right?
Mhm,
Yeah,
an
that
Impala.
makes sense.
And
Sure.
they couldn't get there was a problem with the 409, and they kept on telling them, we can't get the 409, but we can give you this, whatever it was, whatever they had to replace it, and they said no. He says, I ordered the 409 and I
He
want a
waited?
409. He waited for that 409 to come in, and then what they did is they had shipped the car, and they shipped the engine separately, and the dealership had to put the engine in for the car.
Oh, so they installed it.
They installed the
it after
engine
fact.
at the dealership.
That's pretty cool, actually. You
And
imagine if they did that today?
Oh, forget about it. Half the bolts would be left
Nothing to
out.
run.
Yeah, turn the key and it wouldn't start. Mhm.
That's
But,
awesome. They did that.
And that car, that was a '63 with the 409, and that
Wow, that's
car
a nice
today
car.
is
That's a nice
still
car.
out there. It's still there because he got an email from the guy who bought the car from somebody else. He had sold the car to somebody who sold it to somebody else, and
Oh my God, are you serious?
And they had contacted him, being the original owner. They contacted him,
Really?
and he got to meet the guy who has the car, and he got to see the car again, right down here in Jersey City, down at Liberty State Park. The guy called him up,
That's
and
good.
they talked and everything, and he met him down at Liberty State Park, and he actually got to sit in his car again when it was totally
That's got to be a
restored.
bittersweet
And
moment.
he took
man.
a picture. He actually showed me a picture.
Really?
Of it. Yeah. With him sitting in the.
Wow.
Now, obviously, Danny is much older,
Yeah.
but yeah, he showed him a picture of when he was a kid and he had the car.
And then he had the car.
And
now.
then, when he was now years later
Wow.
sitting in the car.
I would love it, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, that's the options. I like the stuff that they had the option packages back in the day. You could go buy something with like even the Chevrolets had it. They all had it. I mean, you could buy the Copos right back then. You could buy the Yanko cars. You could buy all these dealers were doing these hopped up options on the cars, but you could buy them where they looked like a sleeper.
Mhm.
Like the Copo cars looked like crap. They were like
Exactly.
they looked like a 6-cylinder Camaro where they were pushing like 500 horsepower. It's like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Well, that was the
It's
big
cool.
thing back in then. Is each one of the manufacturers is trying to compete against each other to try to produce. Like the first ones that came out, I think was the Mustang is the first one that came out. After the Mustang came out, then they had the
Camaro,
the
right?
Barracudas,
the
Camaros, they had
yeah.
the Firebirds. All that stuff came out to try to be direct competition
The pony cars
for the
right?
Mustang.
Yeah.
Which nobody was able to ever, do what the Mustang was able to do.
I know.
And even to today, I think.
Hang on.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Excuse me 1 second.
Yeah. Business calls. Joe had to go outside and take care of some business. He'll be back in a minute. But let's see. We got. Yeah, it was actually a pretty sad thing because to see the picture of and obviously it's going to happen to all of us, but it showed what he was like when he was a young person driving and what he was later on down the road. But the guy back in the day, I mean that 409 used to run it down the track all the time. Englishtown was a big place down here where everybody went down to Englishtown to race their cars. Back when I started, you have repair shops today, and you have a repair shop that's they just do repairs or whatever, and that was it. But back in the day when I was younger, everybody who had a repair shop or a gas station, everybody there had a race car. So, if the Texaco station up the block from me, Gulf Station that I worked in, the Gulf Station had a race car, the Texaco had a race car, everybody had a race car, and everybody was competing against everybody else to see who could have the quickest car. The place I used to work for, the guy who owned the place, he used to have a Plymouth Fury. And, Joe talks about a sleeper car, but that's what this was. You look at a Plymouth Fury, and a Fury was like really a family car. But underneath the hood, it was a 383 with a, completely redid engine that had, a cam that had the roller lifters on it. It had everything was all meant for performance, had pop-up pistons and all that kind of stuff. So to look at it, it was a real sleeper type car, but that thing could run. And every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, you were down at Englishtown Racetrack, racing the cars. But everybody competed against everybody. And even to this day, I'm still friends with a lot of people that I met back, in the 70s and earlier. Let me just see. British Reunion, 65. On a small block, V8s. Okay. Which one was a really, really quick car, which was a lot of people didn't realize? What I liked is it was a. I'll be back. I just saw something else I want to take a look at. there was a car that used to be out there. It was an AMC Javelin, and that car, you looked at that car and you was like, well, it's really not that fast. But that Javelin, that thing was a monster. That thing would, it was a 390, and that's a really really big engine, a 390. Plymouth Fury 2 with a 383 with a car. Yep, that's okay, no problem. Thermal quad. Yep, that thing was a monster. That car, like I said, just telling them about the car we used to have up there was a Plymouth Fury, and it was a 383, and that we used to have a 383 with with the 4-barrel carburetor. And then when the guy didn't want to run it with a 4-barrel, he used to pull the intake off and throw a 6-pack on there, which was 3 2s,
2 barrels,
put together. And then if he didn't want to run it like that, pull the intake off, put on 2 4s.
Really?
And it was
tunnel ram setup.
Yeah, no, it was just regular. Yeah,
that's
but
crazy.
it depending on what he wanted to run down at the track. If he wanted to run it, it was certain things, certain modifications you could do. Like when you were running, like he was running the Super K automatic, so there was only a certain amount of alterations you could do to it. So
right, you have to.
That's why you used to run
within
it
the rules,
pretty much where it was almost completely stock, except for some modifications to it. But then when they started running brackets.
Right.
And when you're running brackets, you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
As long as you dialed in your bracket.
Yep.
However, like if you dialed in 11.7,
yep.
You dialed in 11.7 and you ran it, and it was 11.7, you won.
You won.
If you ran it 11.6,
you broke out.
You're out.
Done. Yep.
You're done.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I mean, and that was that's lousy because it's like the
too fast.
The air temperature.
Good.
Yeah, but it's weird because when you dial in, and you're running a number with the car, and then something changes, right?
The humidity.
The humidity goes down. It starts getting a little cooler out, and a little better air, and you pick up 2/10 or something, and you're like, oh my god, you don't realize you don't think it's going to go that fast.
What we used to do underneath the hood, we used to have a cooler underneath there.
Okay,
you put a cooler in there, and it was inside that thing was like all your fuel line was wrapped around it inside there. We used to use dry ice.
That's smart.
Put dry ice inside there, so it was constant. It never changed.
Never changed it, right? The density was that's awesome.
But that's the only way you could really do anything and win was running with brackets because you couldn't compete with the big guys.
No.
But, so back then we used to pull the intake off and change the intake, put on 2 4s or the 6-pack.
That's freaking. See, now he just brought up. He's talking about a Hayward. He's talking about a 390 Javelin. That's what I just had in here.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I just telling him about the Javelins. It looked like a sleeper, but that thing was a monster.
That car ran
quick.
That car ran actually pretty good, man. That was a nice running car.
Yeah,
it had power.
Yeah,
it's it's a cool car.
Yeah. Somebody says something about a Rambler here. Let's see what Joel has. I'm a Rambler guy. Must have 65 old. After that was an AMC. I have a friend in the Javelin AMX, and they are fast. They are really fast.
They're light, right?
The Javelins are very light. Yep. I never realized they were so fast until we actually went down the track, and the guy that I worked for was running the guy with a Javelin and blew him away.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. But what used to happen back then too is the guy, it was a Chrysler product, the guy that I used to work for. And you would go out there and the Chryslers off the line, they're all slow.
Right.
You would come off the line, the tree would blink down and you come off the line. Chevys, the Fords,
anything, out. Yeah.
They're out way ahead of you, two car lengths ahead of you. But by the time you got halfway down the track, they would just die. And the Chrysler would just sail right past them.
Those
at the high end, those things were really quick.
Yeah, they had a lot of power, man. Those engines. They the guys always talk about these high end cars, like the bigger cubic inch stuff.
Look at Lon, remember the Pacer? It was all windows.
The Pacer.
It was a bubble. It was a big bubble on top of the thing. That's what it was. I'll tell you a Pacer story, but I can't say it online. I'll tell you. Remind me later. I'll tell you a Pacer story.
I'll tell you a Pinto story.
Okay.
We threw it off the roof.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Off the roof of what?
A carpet store.
Holy crap.
Legitimately too. Yeah. Yeah.
No, whatever you say online is there forever. You know that.
Yeah, right? I know. Well, nobody was underneath it or in it, so it was all right,
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a bad.
When I used to work in this gas station, like I was telling everybody had race cars back then. Everybody did. If it's Texaco, Golf, Shell, whatever, everybody was in direct competition with everybody. Well, the one guy I used to work for, he used to run that Chrysler. It was a Super K automatic he used to run. We used to go all over. We went to the English Town. We used to go to Island Raceway. We used to go to Yorktown, Pennsylvania. We used to go
Wow.
all over the place and run that thing. And I'll tell you a lot of stories about that stuff too. But in one in particular, there was a guy who was actually, anybody who knows Journal Square, they know the Journal Square back in like probably the 70s. They they built everything down there. Well, one of my boss's friends was working there, and he made a lot of money. And he decided he was going to buy himself a race car, and he buys a rail dragster. Now, back then, the rail dragsters,
Front drive.
it was actually
front
Carl's,
engines.
one of Carl's vehicles he bought.
Really?
Yep. And he buys the vehicle. It was one of the last front engines that he had. He went to rear engines after that, Carl. And he buys this front engine dragster, and he gets the thing from Florida, has it brought up to the shop and everything. And it was really a nice car.
Amazing piece, right?
He had a nice mural put over the front of it and everything. It was a really beautiful car, but the guy couldn't drive for nothing.
Oh,
no way. We go down to the track, and now he goes out and he buys himself a whole setup. You put the car in the back of a trailer, on the back of his vehicle. He tows it all the way down there. We get down there. He starts it up, and he's going to take some practice runs. And he does a couple of practice runs, and it's like off the line. Boom, he stalls the thing. And he did this probably 4 or 5 times. And back, you couldn't just turn the key and start it. Right. You had to go there with the starter, plug the starter and turn it, and then start the car up. So finally, he gets proficient at getting it off the line. He gets off the line. He gets down halfway down. And back then, they had 2-speed trans, high and low. That was it, right? Steps on the clutch, put it in high gear, and blew the engine all over the road. He missed it. It was in neutral. Blew the engine all over the road. Whoops. Yeah. And actually, he went down to down in Hoboken. There was a guy that used to do a lot of really big engines down there. He had the engine rebuilt down there. It was a racing engine he did for him down there. Yeah, got it all put back together. And he went down there and he did the same thing all over again. Blew the engine again.
Oh, yeah, he shouldn't have had that car.
He should have never been driving that car. You don't go from driving a street car to driving a rail dragster.
No.
That thing was awesome. You start that thing up and you would just touch the accelerator, the nose would come right off the ground.
Those things are ridiculous,
it's
man.
Amazing, those things.
Fast.
Yeah. Really
freaking fast. I mean, I was around a couple of dragsters in Englishtown and in the pits and stuff. And like when they start those things up, man, it's just,
you could feel it rumbling in your chest.
It goes right through you. You know what I mean?
It's 8,000 flames blowing out the stacks.
I loved it. I love it. Racing was a lot of fun. I'd like to get back into that at some point. Just not doing it like I just like doing it as a hobby. You know what I mean?
It's a rich man's sport too. It's very expensive. There's no such thing as building a car for a couple $1,000. No. If you don't have 30, 40 grand to throw into it.
Yeah, and even with that, you're not going to be competitive.
No, you're just going to have a good time. Yourself.
I'd like to do something again with nitrous, like play around with just like even a Ford 302 engine or something with basic stuff and just mod it a little bit, throw some nitrous on it and tune it. 11s, 10s, whatever you can get to, just having some fun.
It's just finding the time to actually do it. That's the problem. You're so busy trying to keep everything rolling and keep paying the bills and getting the cars in and out. It's tough to devote the time to do your own vehicle. Yeah. Even when I'm find time to do my own car. Most of the time, you check my car is overdue for an oil change all the time.
I know.
My truck actually, you look on my stickers on my car. I always put it. My car, I do 5,000 miles because I do so many highway miles, and that's they recommend 7,000. I do it every 5,000.
Sure.
A sticker on the window I usually put for 3,000.
So that way when you go over,
that way when I'm over, it's right on the money.
I mean, I still got to do. My wife needs 2 cars that I got to do oil changes in both of them. I haven't. Every time I brought them down here, I haven't had the time to do it because we got busy. So it's like the day that I thought we were going to be slow
turned out to be busy. You got to do what you got to do to pay the bills.
Yeah. So
what do you got going on? I think we missed some stuff here.
I agree with that 100%. Being in the cold, that's accurate. I would say a brotherhood more. Actually, all joking aside, everybody's really cool when you're racing.
I'm a rich man, but yet I don't own a race car.
I'm old. Wow, 720s, 189 miles an hour. That had to be some freaking ride.
Wow, that must have been. And actually, this car that we used to run, we were happy to get it to 11.7. Happy to get that.
Yeah, 11s. Even now, though, if you have people don't realize it. Like, if you never drove and never raced the car, like if you have a street car that's like doing an 11-second quarter mile. That's a quick car. It's not fast. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't give a kid that car to drive. You know what I mean? It's a quick car. But
I'll tell you another story about racing. When we used to get on a track, the way it worked, the shop I worked at, the one guy was very heavy.
Okay.
So he wasn't the driver. He was the mechanic. He's the guy that built the engine and did all the mechanical work. And we had another guy that used to drive the car, and he was skinny as a stick, and he was the driver. And he could drive pretty decent. Well, one day he went down the track, got, English Town, when you get to the end, you have to make that turn.
Yeah.
If you don't make that turn, you're going to go off the track.
Yep.
Right? Well, he got down over there, went all the way down the track, and he ran pretty good. Get down there, stepped on the brakes. What do you think happened?
Lost the brakes.
Right to the floor.
Oh,
Right to the floor. Was able to make the turn and get into the pits and everything, so he was able to slow it down.
Oh, he did.
Without crashing the car.
He could.
Back then, it was the old the Fury. So what happened
Wow.
in the back, it had drums in the back and the disc up in the front.
Right.
And what happened is the star had pushed in, like when the star pushes against the shoes, it
Yep.
actually bent the shoe, not the shoe, but the rib of the
I know.
shoe.
Oh yeah.
Bent
I
it
know.
sideways. That's how hard he was trying to stop that thing.
Oh my
And it
God,
got
man.
to the point where it just pushed
Just
off,
pushed
and
it off.
popped and lost the fluid in it, and that's it. Lost his brakes. Now I'll tell you another story about that. We were going up to Yorktown, Pennsylvania. I didn't drive. The guy who owned the car, built it, and he was now driving it because the other guy refused to drive it again.
Okay.
So we're going up to Pennsylvania. We're driving up there. Now the guy bought a car carrier. It wasn't a car carrier. What it was a regular truck. And what he did is he had a welder come in and cut the back of the bed and tilt the bed down, and he had these ramps that he put on it. He
You have
had
like a
ramps,
transporter?
Yep.
That's
put
cool.
the ramps on the back of it. He had a winch on the top of it. And he would pull the car up onto the truck. So he pulls the car up onto the truck, and then me and this other guy that I work with were in the race car on the top of the truck.
Oh my
The
God.
guy I work for is driving, and the other guy, we'll call him DH, was in the passenger seat. And you guys can figure out what DH means, but he was in the passenger seat. And we're driving, going up to Pennsylvania, and we get up there, and all of a sudden we're coming up and down the hills in Pennsylvania. As we come down the hill, I feel the truck is rumbling like crazy. The whole thing is shaking. I'm thinking, what the heck are these guys doing? I look in the side mirror, and I see the side mirror, and I look inside, and DH O'Brien, DH, I won't say his last name, DH is inside the truck. He's got back then the parking brake was right there in the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
He had both feet on the floor, and he's
Oh,
yanking
no.
on the parking brake to try to stop the truck. I'm thinking, what the heck is this guy? What's he doing? And we come down to the hill, the light's red.
Oh no.
And his car's all stopped there, and we're not slowing down. We're coming down there. Thankfully, the light changes, and the people pull away.
God,
As we come down and come back up onto the other side, we're just coming up, and it rolls over to the shoulder. And now, because we're going uphill, it slows down. We're able to stop it. Get out of the car, come down. It's like, what the heck are you guys doing? What's going on?
Yeah, this ain't what
And
kind
he
of
said,
party is
he
this?
says, I lost the brakes in the truck. It was a single master cylinder in the truck. So when you lost a brake
That was
line,
it.
you lost everything.
Everything.
So everything was gone. No brakes at all. The only way they could stop it is with the parking brake. And so we get over there, and it's like, oh, no big deal. I look underneath the truck, and sure enough, the back line blew from the one side, from say the left side to the center to the rear end. The line blew. It's no big deal. We just changed the line.
Change the line, sure.
I said to him, the guy Bobby that I work for, I said, "Where's the tools?" He said, "I don't know. Didn't you bring them?"
Oh
We
my
drove-
God, man.
All the way to Pennsylvania, no tools. No tools.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man. You have
We raced anyway.
I was gonna say I would have ran it.
We
I
went off on
know.
the side of the road, picked up a rock, flattened the brake line, twisted it over, flattened it down again, walked down to a gas station, bought some brake fluid, put it in. and
We're good.
able to
We're
race.
good
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had excuse me. I've had a couple of bad close calls, man, with the stuff with that's with the racing stuff. I mean, I heard stories like one guy that I knew that was into racing big time. They used to set a lot of records. He was telling me about these guys. They were trying to get the car to run right. They had an Oldsmobile, and it was a big block. But they had some. I mean, this thing was a little ridiculous. Like they had a stick shift set up in this thing, some sort of a 4-speed or whatever. And whatever happened with the car, they were screwing around at the track, looking for a noise. They were revving it up, looking for a noise. The one guy's, the clutch let go. Yeah, and the one guy was under the car, looking for the noise.
Wow.
And they said that he lost. He almost lost his head.
Yeah, he's lucky to be alive.
Yeah, everything came apart. So,
Wow.
They said, this guy's over there, spinning this thing 8,000 RPM, big
my
block
God.
Oldsmobile. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
You
no,
gotta-
I said,
You'd
dude,
have to be insane to crawl underneath that.
that's
would
what I
never do
said.
that.
I said, I wouldn't be under that car, but it came apart.
Uh-huh.
And that was the end of that. They gave up working on it that day.
Oh, I had one of my customers one time, right? And I'm driving up on Avenue B over here, no, Avenue C, and I see the guy walking across the street on crutches. Pull over. I said, "What happened? What happened to you?" He said, "Oh, he said I had a car accident." So, well, what happened? He had a funny car. He was down the track, and he was running it down the track. And what happened is, anybody who knows race cars knows that underneath these cars today, well, this was actually 10 years ago or whatever. Anyhow, they have a scatter shield inside.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because if you drive shaft, the drive shaft is short. It's only a smaller drive shaft. When that shaft lets go, that's spinning at 8,000 RPM. It's going to, whatever it is there, it's going to take it apart.
In half, yep.
Well, what happened is the guy is in his car and he pulls up to the line and he's getting ready to make his run. And it's a fast car. And he gets up there and he does his burnout and he backs it up again. And I was ready to go. The tree blinks down. And as he slams on the accelerator to take off, he feels like boom. And the car loses power. The seat he's sitting on goes up and back down. And it's like, what the hell happened?
Right.
Didn't know what it was till he tried to get out of the car. His leg was bent. What happened is the drive shaft broke, busted his leg. When it busted his leg, it came up and hit the bottom of the seat that he was in. He said if that thing didn't fail, he would have lost everything. Would have lost everything. And then it wound up breaking his leg. And after they checked it out later on, the scatter shield, it blew right through the scatter shield. And that's what broke his leg.
You've got to be kidding me.
He said the car was so bad they couldn't even save it. It was so twisted. Everything was twisted. It wound up in scrap.
I even had one of those safeties in my Mach 1.
Oh, okay.
I was afraid of that. I said, it's a stick car, you know what I mean? And I was shooting it, you know what I mean? And I was like leaving on, on a slick. And I was like, I'm coming off the clutch sometimes 6,000, 7,000 RPM.
Oh yeah, when that thing lets go, forget about it.
Yeah, I said if something breaks, it's gonna kill me. So you know what I mean? I was like, So I figured I'd at least put that much of the drive shaft, safety and all that stuff in.
Yep, exactly.
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
But
what time you got here? I think it's time to go home, Joe.
I think it is time to go home. My wife is gonna kill me.
Your wife?
No, she's fine. She's home. She's laughing at me.
Oh, okay.
I think she's actually back on our live feed. But is dinner ready, honey?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you cooking anything, or should I pick up food on the way home? Because I didn't get an inspection for your car.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that till you got home, Joe. You shouldn't have said it till you got home.
Nah, she won't be mad.
Now you're gonna go home, put the key in the door, and it's like, oh, this key worked this morning.
Yeah, what happened to the locks? No, I got tomorrow. I'm gonna get inspected.
Yeah. I've already used that line myself. All right, I guess we're gonna sign off here tonight. So as you can see, Joe's got a really big shop here, and it's plenty of room to do just about everything inside there.
No. She's cool. I forgot to get it inspected.
Yeah.
I'll get it inspected tomorrow. But
yeah. Well, the good point is you got a lot of work done, so that's good.
I did get some work done.
That's a good thing.
So now I gotta. What do you think of that? What do you think I got over there at that Mitsubishi? I might call Kuba on this one. Kuba, how you doing on Mitsubishis?
Yeah, that Mitsubishi has sounded pretty bad. The only thing I can say about that Mitsubishi is it's better off in this shop than my shop.
Thanks.
All right, guys. I think we're going to call it a night. All right. It was good talking to everybody, and I'm going to look through the feed here. We'll see if there's anything I can talk to anybody about. I will give you Wyatt's phone number too, and we'll coordinate something with that
definitely.
too. So that would be good. And that's it. I think we'll call it a night, and then we're off. All right. Good to talk to everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm going to try to do my live stream probably once a month or something like that, but we'll see how it goes. All right, and I know Joe's going to become a live stream too. I don't know how his is going to be, but when it's going to be. I know one thing: it won't be on Wednesdays.
No, it will not be on Wednesdays
because there's nobody going to compete with Eric.
I don't want to compete with Eric at all.
We'll go on the live stream and say, "Hey, wait a minute, are we on?" Because everybody here will be over talking to Eric.
Well, I was just going to say I'd put my live stream on and I'd be in Eric's chat anyway, so it won't even matter. I hang out with him, man. But no, it's cool. Yeah, like I said, guys, you're welcome to come down. We'll talk about it more. And I'm glad Jim came down to visit today. Man.
It's good to see you, Joe.
You got to come down more often.
I hope that shirt fits you, fat man.
Hey.
All right, when it gets a little warmer out, he's gonna show you the shirt.
Sure,
all right?
absolutely.
When it gets a little warmer. So, all right, everybody, thanks for stopping by. It was good talking to everybody and catching up. And we'll talk again soon. And Lon, good to see you too. You take care of yourself. And that's it. All right. Say goodbye,
thanks,
everybody.
Guys. Appreciate it very much.
I'll see you again. All right. Wait. We can't leave without saying this is my regular line. As always, thanks for watching. And I'll see you on the next one. I already